entry this year is not entered, at least as of now. But Edna Kiplagat, who last year set a woman's Masters record, and Edna won the outright title in the early 2000s with a record run. She's back. So you're going to see, as always, you're going to see some unbelievably great runners. But I expect John Career and Patrick Kip to at least at the start be favorites.
And hearing from Tim Reed this morning, to take 30 seconds off the course, 30 seconds in time off the course is really remarkable.
That's huge.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is. I mean, it's like you're talking 3 seconds. Remember, to run, what they run 2 years ago, 42:06.
Yeah.
That is, you're averaging 4:31 a mile. I mean, 99.9% of the population can't run 1 mile in that time.
Yeah.
These people are sprinting the whole way.
Our broadcast begins at 7 o'clock on Sunday morning. John will be a part of it. I'll be there this year, which is a first for me. And then on the stage with Showtime and all of that. So, John, we'll see you on Sunday morning. Thank you. I'll be in touch, too, later today.
All right, great, Bill. Thanks. You guys have a great day.
Take
care, John.
See you, Mayor.
And we're going to try to talk to John again before we hit the weekend. He just has so much knowledge on the Boilermaker. Quick break. Instead of the break, I'll just step in and let you know that John is a wealth of knowledge. And he can also talk about the history of the Boilermaker. And when Earl Reed and a small group of people got together to create what they never really probably saw this was going to become. It was it was a little race. Beth Irons is in here this morning. It was a little bit of a race, something fun to do.
It was just some friends getting together.
Yeah, and it has turned into this, and we'll talk to Tim Reed about all of that a little bit later on this morning, and Earl would be considered the father of the Boilermaker, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Beth is in here this morning, of course, with the United County Public Market. It is going very well.
It is
knocking it out of the park down there.
And we're very grateful for everybody who continues to support the market. We've had a couple of really nice Saturdays, hoping that trend continues. Sounds like it's going to be nice and sunny, but a little steamy this weekend.
It looks hot.
Everybody is in Boilermaker mode.
And even that is, I think today, at least what the National Weather Service is calling for right now, is 86.
Yeah.
Versus
kind of a practice day.
87, which I said yesterday. It'll be warm for the start. For the actual race itself will be in the 70s.
Well, and I guess we're all our fingers are crossed that we don't have any thunderstorms that visit us in the morning while the runners are still out on the track.
We've been very lucky. We've been very lucky with that over the years. So, okay.
One quick mention.
Yes.
For Saturday morning, for all the kids that are in the kids runs and walks, hosted by I believe Utica National, right?
Yes.
If you come on down to the market afterwards with your family, we get out our Pop Power Produce tokens. Kids who continue to wear their shirts that they were wearing for their walks or their runs will get extra tokens to spend at the market tomorrow.
Okay.
This weekend only.
I do like that idea where you're giving out almost money, kind of tokens.
I call them market money.
Where kids can learn to, number one, they're learning how to
make a good decision
make a deal,
where their nutrition's concerned.
and then make a good decision when it comes to really healthy food. So. All right. So much to get into here today. So many things that have been going on. I had, if you look on our website, we talk about speaking with UPD regarding a couple of, I can give you some of the updates that we have, but at this point, it's going to be another day. There are they're dealing with some tragedies, UPD. Of course, during the tornado, there was a case of a young girl who ended up drowning right around the time of the storm. It just is a tragic story, and we'll be getting an update on that at some point this week. You have the other case of the 6-year-old on July 2nd who was brought in to Wynn Hospital unresponsive. Police are investigating that, as well as and this is what I was told by Lieutenant Curley, UPD investigates So don't read too much into it. They say they investigate every case, especially when there's the death of a child. Every case is investigated. So that's in the hands of the medical examiner's office in Onondaga County. And then there's another one up there. It's up on our website, but we will not be speaking with Lieutenant Curley here this morning. However, Lieutenant Ryan Warner of the Oneida City Police Department, we will speak with him as part of Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers Wanted Person of the Week. And Davey, this morning, this is Boilermaker Week. We are, and you know, whenever Boilermaker comes around, we always focus on Hobika's free money question of the day. Not really, but I'm just kind of tying it together. This morning, Davey, how much money are we looking at for Hobika's free money question?
$300, Bill.
That's a biggie. We'll do that at 7:35. You can check that out later on this morning. Also, Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacini is on. Ryan Schmelz, in a few minutes, we'll speak with him. Former White House physician Dr. Kevin O'Connor is appearing before the House committee and refusing to speak in regards to Biden. I really don't know. Well, I don't want to get everybody going, but I don't understand. I get that there is that they were protecting Biden. I just don't understand because I feel like this happens in every presidency. It happened during Reagan's presidency. It happened during FDR. The JFK cover-up, was there an investigation because nobody talked about all the cheating that was going on? I mean, it's your administration will protect the president, which has a national security element to it.
Absolutely.
But with all of that said, it doesn't take a congressional committee to figure out Joe Biden was aging and aging fast. He was struggling even when it came to walking. So as for the major cover-up that he couldn't complete a sentence, there were days where he did. He did answer questions. But then there was that terrible debate where it looked like he couldn't be running the country. So I really don't know that there's anything there at the end of the day, and the doctor refused to talk. We'll talk to Ryan Schmelz about that coming up. And I realize it is a very polarized situation, right? Especially after all of the investigations when it comes to Donald Trump, which, by the way, have all gone away somehow mysteriously. That's amazing consequences of an election. Also this morning, John Decker, Great TV. He is the chief White House correspondent. We'll speak with him. There's some Utica Broadway stuff to get to. There's just so much happening. And to top it all off, like you're putting whipped cream on a banana. That's really not a saying, is it? To top it all off, Beth has brought in something this morning for us to consume.
Yeah.
And I will say, I think it has carbs. But I'm okay with that.
Yep, healthy with carbs this morning.
At this point, I'm okay. What did you bring?
I brought in raspberry oatmeal bars. It's like a crisp, so if you're like an apple crisp fan or a rhubarb crisp fan, it's along those lines. But raspberries are in season right now, short season, delicious berry. So I had to take advantage. These are from right down the road at Candela's.
It's funny. I was listening to Kilmeade yesterday, and there was the physician who wrote the book about making America healthy again was on, and she said, I have some concerns over some of what RFK deals with, but there's other things that she really is positive on, and that would be eating healthy again, and having
absolutely.
pure foods, and why is it different in Europe? Because the Europeans seem to cook with things that are in season, as opposed to we process everything.
That's one of the foundations.
Yeah, and that's right down to your public market, which makes that so very important. Talking about the physician, Dr. Kevin O'Connor's appearing before the House committee. Right now, Ryan Schmelz from Fox News Radio. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good. I'm glad to see the Mets didn't lose last night. Oh, right. It all rained out. 2 games today. I don't know about you, but I hate doubleheaders because you just kind of, I love them as a fan, but strategically, you're almost always, it's hard to sweep a doubleheader. But listen, if anybody could do it, the Mets could do it. in terms of being in terms of being swept is what I'm trying to say to you. So,
well, and if you pull it off, it's a great it's definitely
right.
builds a lot of morale. Certainly is a big boost for the team. But also, like you said, your team's going to be a little tired the next day. So there's that.
Yes. Right. It doesn't help you with the next series.
Yeah, it could wind down, your pitching roster and your bullpen if you have to tap into your bullpen. But whatever. I mean,
well, I will tell you this: that for the Mets who play Baltimore today, an afternoon game, I think it's like 1:00, 1:15. For the Mets, with a beaten up bullpen, I have to say a rainout always comes in handy for the New York Mets. So, all right, let's talk about this Dr. Kevin O'Connor's appearing before. This is everybody yesterday. Can you believe he's not talking? He's in defiance of Congress. What are your thoughts? What is your takeaway from all of this?
Well, I don't think we were too shocked to see him plead the fifth in this case. Leading up to yesterday's deposition, his lawyers have been trying to get it rescheduled, but those attempts were kind of falling on deaf ears, and the House Oversight Committee said that he still has to show up. He ultimately did, but he chose not to talk.
And again, I don't think anybody is surprised. And I know this is like a broken record. I've been talking with you about this story for quite some time. I just find it to be typical of any administration that you do not, even for national security, that if Biden was medically or mentally in trouble, I don't believe that the administration then was going to say anything, just like they didn't with Reagan, just like they didn't with FDR. I'm not overly surprised by this. I find it to be more of a distraction than anything else, but I realize Republicans don't agree with me.
Well, you can say that, certainly. I mean, number one, the last thing Democrats want is for President Biden to be in the headlines because I think they believe he is a losing issue.
Yeah.
Number two, yes, President Biden's probably never going to run for president again. But at the same time, I do believe there are people who, had connections to the administration and were in the administration who still have very bright political futures. Pete Buttigieg, Hakeem Jeffries could be the next Speaker of the House. And I think that where House Republicans' logic could come in is that, well, they deserve to have the ability to look in to see just how deep this cover-up possibly went. And, it doesn't mean that it's going to lead to any criminal charges or anything like that. But, if they're able to get people on the record and maybe say that certain individuals also knew about this and were potentially involved with the cover-up, I think the logic is that you'll let the American people decide if those people should be allowed to have higher offices in the future.
There is the slip-up that Biden had, I think, earlier in the administration when he mentioned that he had cancer, and then it was corrected. So you do kind of wonder what was, and then once he leaves, we find out that there's a cancer issue. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. We are no longer, the other part of this is we're no longer in a world where the media, just think about what the media did during FDR's administration. Most Americans didn't even know the president was in a wheelchair. And they protected him. Same thing in the Kennedy administration. Everybody knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Everybody knew all the indiscretions that were happening. But there was, prior to Vietnam, there was a respect for the office, and it protected the office. Those days, and you're in the middle of hunting for news, those days, Ryan, are gone.
Oh, yeah, and I believe Chad Pergram has pointed out to me on a podcast before, you had the cases like Harry Truman, where he was in a very serious decline of his health during the last couple of days of his administration, and people were arguing that it was his. I believe it was either his sister or it was the first lady who were practically calling the shots at that point.
Yeah.
So some of this stuff is definitely not accusations we've heard in the past, but not aggressively gone after by members of Congress and the media to this extent too. And they make the same arguments about Reagan during his final months in office, and there were a couple other presidents too, where they may have had some serious or some health deficiencies, and it just wasn't well known. I mean, the world, consistently forgets that, or consistently forgot that Frank FDR was in a wheelchair at times, and so.
Well, not to mention that the first lady was literally running the country towards the end, not the vice president.
He did die in office. I mean,
yeah.
That's I mean, and that was during a war.
Yeah.
So I mean, the war to save mankind, and this is and we had a president who had significant health issues. It's there.
All right, interesting. We'll see where it all goes. Ryan, as always, we appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk again real soon.
Sounds good, Bill. Go Mets.
Thanks so much. Go Mets. Go Orioles. We're so peaceful to each other. It's 6:36.
Utica and the Mohawk Valley Mattress Express's summer sale is on, and this is a big one, folks. Pay attention. Get a king for the price of a queen for the price of a full, and a full for the price of a twin. Save, save, save. Flex head beds included. These are beautiful therapeutic select mattresses starting at just $4.99, folks. Why pay more? No credit check payment plans. We do them every day. 5 years, no money down to pay for qualified buyers. That includes massage chairs, folks. Full line of massage chairs. In New Hartford on Commercial Drive next to Pet Supplies Plus. In Oneida, in the Glenwood Plaza where the movie theaters are, folks, go to mattressexpressny.com. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS. No appointment necessary. King for the price of a queen. Queen for the price of a full. Full for the price of a twin. Only at Mattress Express.
Don't miss Clinton Tractor Spring Sales Event. We're giving you the best deals of the season on all of our inventory. Thousands of used and new equipment in stock, all in one location. Get 0% financing on new Ferris commercial mowers, Massey Ferguson, and New Holland equipment. And trailers and used equipment as low as 5.49%. Restrictions apply. We're giving you the best deals of the season. It's Clinton Tractor Spring Sales Event.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
ClintonTractor.net.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name Clay as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Here's the latest from the WIBX newsroom. I'm Doug Callan. A Plattsburgh man who exchanged child pornography with an 82-year-old Rome man was sentenced to 6 years in federal prison on Tuesday, according to prosecutors. According to the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of New York, 65-year-old Richard Hockersmith was sentenced for conspiring to receive and distribute child pornography and for possessing child porn. The Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers Wanted Person of the Week is up on our website at WIBX950.com. Police in Oneida are looking for 54-year-old John C. Degosky, who they say is wanted on grand larceny charges and for writing nearly $10,000 in bad checks. A photo and full story is on our website. The New Hartford Police Department responded to the former St. Luke's Hospital on Champlain Ave Wednesday, right around 12 noon, following a 911 report of a man with a gun. Multiple police officers responded. They located the suspect near the rehabilitation unit on the campus. However, no weapon was found in his possession. The investigation is ongoing. People with any information can contact New Hartford Police or offer a tip through Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. This year's Boilermaker Road Race is expected to have a flyover. The event will take place, weather permitting, with the U.S. Air Force scheduled to perform the flyover at the post-race party. According to organizers, the 134th Fighter Squadron, known as the Green Mountain Boys from the Vermont Air National Guard, is scheduled to fly 2 F-35 Lightning II and 1 FA-18 aircraft over the Boilermaker Road Race at approximately 10:01:30 a.m. Senator Joe Griffo's office played a key role in securing the military flyover of the fighter jets. That's the latest. I'm Doug Callan for WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Rain chances with us here today. We should dry out by Friday, but a chance of showers and thunderstorms over the weekend. Could see a passing shower this morning. Better chance of a couple of showers, thunderstorms this afternoon. 85. A threat for showers early tonight. 65. Could dip into the upper 50s in the North Country. Good look at Friday. Sunshine. 87. Chance of showers and thunder showers over the weekend. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajik at the Weather Channel, WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Well, we have partly sunny skies, partly cloudy skies, if you will. 66 degrees at WIBX. I'll get through it. 641. Beth Irons.
Yes, you're in studio and the mic is on.
And the mic is on. Beth is in here this morning. We're coming right back at WIBX.
Hi, this is Scott Hayes.
And this is Jill Hayes from New York Sash.
Right now, when you buy 2 windows, you get 1 free.
That's right. Wait, Scott, what did you say?
Jill, it's the buy 2, get 1 free sale, our best sale of the year.
But Scott, it's summer. That's the offer we make in the winter.
Right. Well, I guess that one's on me because I just told the team that this year's Independence sale is buy 2 windows, get 1 free.
So that means customers can buy 4 windows and get 2 free, or 6 windows and get 3 free?
Exactly. There's no end to the savings. And it's easy to take advantage of this offer. Just stop by the New York Sash Idea and Design Center this week. Browse our selection and save.
But it's for a limited time, right, Scott?
That's right. Stop in or call for 1 final week, and you'll lock in our most popular offer of the year. Buy 2 windows, get 1 free during the Independence sale at New York Sash.
We're open Monday through Saturday on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro. And as always, let our family take care of your family.
Nurses at Oneida Health Hospital always advocate for our patients and work hard to provide the best care for them. Now we're fighting to make sure that hospital executives put patients over profits and properly staff their hospital. Nurses are demanding a fair contract to ensure that we can continue to provide the safe, quality patient care our community deserves. Learn more and take action at www.nisna.org/Oneida. Paid for by the New York State Nurses Association.
Clearing out your home or commercial building, John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation will handle it for you. We handle residential or any size commercial property, before and after estate sale cleanouts or any junk removal service. John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation is a 5-star rated and background checked business, providing service you can count on, and we're fully insured in the industry. Call John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation today and take the stress out of your mess.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Oh, boy, Davey. Oh, boy. The Utica Police Department is talking about another scam. These scams are just out of control. You get one, I don't know, I think I get 1 or 2 every single day.
I tell you, there's one thing that human beings will never disappoint. Anytime that there's a catastrophe, there will be someone standing in the wings waiting to take advantage of it.
We love opportunity.
Yep.
Even
good, bad, or otherwise.
Even when it's evil. In this one, according to Utica Police Department on their Facebook page, they've had numerous reports of individuals who approach customers at ATMs and request for a check to be deposited and then money immediately withdrawn. The UPD explains that the money is withdrawn from the victim's account, and when the bank processes the check, it's found to be fraudulent, and the people are out of the money. I do not know how somebody could fall for this.
I was just going to say the same thing. How can we be so gullible?
I know. And maybe, you could get somebody who's older or I just want to put that on older people. They're smarter than that.
Yeah.
So, but it's a problem, and they're saying do not deposit checks for people you don't know, especially ones that approach you at an ATM. Let me tell you something. Somebody approaches me at an ATM.
I'm not getting out of the car.
Immediately suspicious.
Yep.
You don't want anybody near you when you're taking money out. I had a friend telling me that he had won a large amount of money at the at the Turning Stone.
Turning Stone?
And he said, I didn't want to be a wuss and ask for security to walk me out to my car, but so I didn't. I'm like, you should have done that.
Yeah, that's not being a wuss.
He won a lot of money, and there were people that were watching, and they
there are people that are watch for that.
Following him to
his vehicle.
And then he said he felt like they were following him on the road. So, and he ended up losing them. But listen, they'll follow you home.
Yeah.
You have to be prepared for anything. People will do anything for
well,
money.
and then, one thing, and you see this on TV and shows and stuff, but it happens in real life. Well, if you think someone's following you, don't rush to get home and lock your front door behind
That's
you.
Exactly
go
right.
to the closest, the police station, the firehouse. Don't go home.
Somewhere
where there's going to be people.
The last thing you want to do is show them where you live.
Show them where you live,
That's the thing. So police say, do not deposit checks. I had one the other day that said someone UPS, and it looked really authentic. And there are links in there, and they say, please click here to confirm that this was your package. The minute you click on it, they're grabbing information from you. So they could be putting some sort of a virus
savvy.
or a bot or whatever onto your computer or your phone, so don't do it. UPD in the release, these cases are very difficult to investigate. Suspects are often from out of the area, driving vehicles that are rentals or have switched license plates. So do not do it. Do not do it. Fair enough. What else here this morning? Hundreds of Amazon packages were mistakenly shipped to a woman's home for over a year. A woman received hundreds of random Amazon packages over the past year, and they all contained the same thing: fake leather car seat covers. Crazy. And Amazon was finally agreeing to take them out of her garage. Here is the homeowner talking about, and she had hundreds of these boxes. Here's the homeowner talking about getting all of the packages.
It started with one package, and I was like, it's got my address, but it's not for me. And I went to my neighbors, and I was like, oh, did somebody accidentally put the wrong last digit? Nobody knew what it was. Oftentimes, the amount it costs to return it is about more than 50% of what they paid for it. And every time I was absolutely assured, this will stop. You won't get any more of these packages. You'll hear from us within 24 to 48 hours.
Okay. Well, I know somebody else that ordered shoes or slippers online, and they were supposed to be Skechers. Turned out it was sketchy.
Oh.
They weren't Skechers. and so now, so the question you now are left with, because they finally did get the slippers in the mail, but they weren't Skechers. They were cheap knockoffs.
Yep, that happens a lot.
And you kind of wonder, are they just trying to sell garbage, or is that fulfilling the order so they're not doing anything quote-unquote illegal, but they're grabbing your information and stealing your information?
Yeah.
So you don't know what they're doing. And Donna this morning says, whoa, I'm older and not dumb enough to do that.
Yep.
And I don't think your mom would do it either. So there. Okay, Donna. You're right. My apologies. How a woman on TikTok butters her toast is dividing the internet. What do you think? She has 2 thick sticks of butter. One of them is only for buttering her warm toast, like she's applying deodorant. She then wraps the stick back up and puts it back in the refrigerator.
That's unique.
Why not just leave your butter out? You can leave butter out.
Yeah, so it's room temperature.
You do not have to. I mean, you can't leave it out.
Does it take so long to wash a knife?
You can't leave it out too long. I do find that it is a little difficult sometimes with cold butter. But that's why I just leave it out. I don't get it. But here it is. Yeah. Live Aid 85. It was, we're dealing with the anniversary of Live Aid, and it would have been on July 13th. So this weekend is the
40 years
is the anniversary of Live Aid, and I have a whole bunch of I wouldn't be surprised if it's our free money question this morning. I'm just saying. So, and it's worth $300. Today is also National Kitten Day. If you want to celebrate, today is National Pina Colada Day.
There you go.
Which I love, a good pina colada. It's one of the sweet drinks that I do enjoy, especially if the sun is shining. And now a life lesson today. Are you ready? Don't get drunk and pick a fight at a golf course. This guy may be a former NHL enforcer. In this case, it's former New York Rangers New York Ranger Nick Tamaski. Is that the is that who it is, Davey? He's a tough one. The drunk guy's buddy is trying to play peacemaker, but the drunk keeps coming at him. Nick pushes the drunk into a water hazard. The drunk keeps coming back at Nick, and he gives him some head blows before ragdolling him away. He's now a youth hockey coach, and the incident is under investigation. But listen, people can only handle so much. Be careful who you're fighting with. You just don't know. Here's audio.
You guys need to get off the golf course. You're not scaring anybody. Come on, man. I told you. Man, leave him alone. You want to know? You want to came at me. Leave him alone. Hey, you want to go, guy? Hey, leave him alone, man. Bang. Hey, bang. Come on, man. Bang. Get out. Hey. Enough. Get him the out of here.
I swear to God, I was at a Comets game once and heard this exact same thing. Listen, what are you doing? Why are you? You know what? It's alcohol. They cannot help themselves.
That is.
It's alcohol. Married couple from the United States ended up winning this year's wife carrying contest in Finland. Boy, aren't we proud. Here's Caleb and Justine Rosler talking about their big victory after the husband carried the wife.
Feels good. She did a great job. We went underwater and she didn't panic, so we're happy. She did a good job. We're just going to have dinner and go to the party and celebrate with everybody. Never done anything like that, jump in a water puddle with my wife, so I'm going to go hear some other stories from everybody else.
Life is complete now.
Life is complete. We have won the Finland
Check
contest.
that off the life list.
Life is complete. And then speaking of completing the whole topic, Donna says butter can be left out in room temperature under 70 degrees for 2 to 3 days if it is salted. Unsalted butter cannot. I don't know. We leave. I mean,
I remember when I was a kid, there was always the butter tray on the Lazy Susan in the middle of the dining room table.
Yeah, Donna, I'm not here to disagree, but I think I'm disagreeing. That it can be now. You'll know when it goes bad. It's not going to kill you. It just doesn't taste. It just doesn't taste right. Yeah. But they have all of these mechanisms you can use. Like there's like a little tub or a crock that you put water in, and you flip the, and that supposedly
and then the butter's actually contained in a cup that's stuck to
on
the
the
lid.
top.
Yeah,
right.
That's stuck to the lid.
So there's stuff that you can do. Wayne is someone who has worked in food for many years in food service. And he has butter that's been left out for 22 years, and he still is able to use it.
It's like honey. It's like the Egyptians do with honey.
That's right. Honey doesn't spoil. Leave it out.
You're my hero with food safety.
And even eggs. You can leave eggs out if you haven't washed them. If they're fresh eggs, you can leave them right out on the counter.
Can you leave eggs out, Bill?
Well,
I mean, like in what temperature? Like, can you leave them out indefinitely?
I believe so.
As long as they're not in direct sun.
Yeah, and then there's always the Easter trick, which I like, and that is you hide the egg and forget where you hid it, and then about 3 days later, because you've boiled it, it begins to get really bad.
And that's where it's been hidden.
I had an ex-girlfriend, her mother, I always thought that was weird. She was a baker, and she had, on her counter, cases of eggs just all around. And I was like, does your mother ever think of putting them in the refrigerator at all? And she's like, no. And I'm like, I'd probably get sick if I ate one of them eggs.
Yeah. That's true. Donna, and by the way, Donna's saying don't shoot the messenger. That information comes from USDA. Oh, you can't trust the USDA. Not in this day and age. We don't trust anybody with any bit of knowledge. All right, Wayne, bees. What's going on here?
Quick story. Some lady had a down tree, so I took my chainsaw over there and I cut it up. It was probably, I cut like 20 pieces off of it. And then I get towards where, like the trunk of it, and it's, of course it's over a fence, so it's still leaning towards it. Started pinching my blade, so I got out my wedge, and I took the wedge and I put it in there so that I have, so it wouldn't pinch my blade when I went to cut it. Pounded on it 1, 2, 3, get to the 5th pounding, and all of a sudden I felt like I thought somebody was staring at me. So I looked up over my head, about 12 inches from my head. There was a swarm of bees. that looked like my head. So I'm like, oh no. So I turned around and I went to back up, and I got stung on my opposite wrist of, opposite side of where they were. And I smacked it, crushed it, and threw the thing down, and I ran. They didn't chase me or nothing like that, but they stayed around that tree.
Yeah. Now, I got to tell you, you have to be careful, too, in a situation like that, because you can then forget about the fact that you're running from the bee. You still have a tree that's about to come down, which could come right down on top of you. I saw a tree go down, and it was in a windstorm, and this was several years ago, but I've never seen it. I have pictures of it. And inside, the tree had hollowed out, it had rotted, and the bees, there were honeybees. There were thousands. And when the tree went down, it was right near the road, and everything was near a stop sign, and everything was shut down in that area because there were the swarms of bees.
Oh, yeah.
That were right in the road. It was and everything was exposed because the tree had come down. So
did they bring in a beekeeper to remove the hive?
They had to bring in a beekeeper because there were honeybees.
Yeah.
They were honeybees. So
they didn't mind the sound of the chainsaw, but when I took that hammer and the wedge out,
they didn't like that.
Yeah,
they didn't
no,
like
but
that.
they didn't. Like I said, I went through the whole thing, and all of a sudden, when I took that hammer out and that pounding, that was the end of it.
Yeah, that's all over.
Yep.
All right, well, glad you're still with us, Wayne. That's good.
Yeah,
good
I'm
stuff.
like, I'm glad too. I was like, wow, this is like crazy.
Could have been bad.
And, you always got to keep it in the back of your head because you come across them ground bees too.
Yeah, those are brutal.
Those are nasty.
All right, Wayne, thanks, man. Have a great have a great day. GPO Federal Credit Union is here to help you if you need a loan for a vehicle. Maybe it's a first-time buyer in your family or a home. They have you covered. And to help your credit, they do programs. Just call and ask or go to their website, gpofcu.com, for details. It's financial for life. GPO Federal Credit Union, gpofcu.com.
Hey there, it's summer and the energy is on. One of my favorite quotes is energy is everything. Lisa here, and we're turning up the heat at Fit Body Boot Camp with our summer sizzle. Life gets crazy this time of year, but just 30 minutes of exercise can keep you fit, focused, and feeling fantastic. With 2 convenient locations in Whitesboro and Clinton, Fit Body Boot Camp's summer sizzle will help you feel confident and strong. Did I mention that we have air conditioning? We're not just a gym, we're a community that inspires fitness and changes lives. Ready to take that first step? Come join us and get fit for summer.
At the Naimi Auto Group, we believe in honest pricing, quality car care, and a team that treats you with respect, no matter what you drive. In Hamilton, we know what really matters. Family, friends, and trucks that don't know the word quit. At Den Kelly Chevy GMC, we've been your neighbor for years. Same store, new story. New or used, Chevy or GMC, we deliver strength backed by genuine integrity, heartfelt compassion, and a work ethic that stood the test of time. Den Kelly Chevy GMC, Matt Naimi GMC, Naimi's new generation cars. 3 hometown stores, 1 name you can trust.
No one wants to leave behind stress for their family. That's why a trust or a will is so important. Without one, your assets might go to the wrong people or leave out loved ones. Also, probate is long, expensive, and often avoidable with a revocable trust. Trustandwill.com makes it simple to create a personalized estate plan. A trust or will provides clarity and peace of mind. Get 20% off on your estate plan documents by visiting trustandwill.com/radio.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like 2-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats if your identity...
From the Stanley Theater Studios, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, celebrating 100 years.
Suspensions at the Secret Service. I'm Chris Foster. Fox News. Punishments are coming down over the near assassination of President Trump at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania a year ago this Sunday.
Nearly 1 year after the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, some critics are still asking why there was not a proper overwatch on that roof near the stage. The 6 Secret Service agents that have been reportedly suspended for the blown coverage, they were not fired. The deputy director defended the agency's decision not to sack anyone. Quote, "We aren't going to fire our way out of this. this. We're going to focus on the root cause and fix the deficiencies that put us in that situation. Secret Service is totally accountable for Butler.
Fox Lucas Tomlinson in Washington. President Trump sets a 50% tariff rate on imports from Brazil, condemning what he calls an attack on free elections.
In a letter to Brazil's president, President Trump tied that high tariff rate to the trial of the country's former leader, Jair Bolsonaro. Bolsonaro is accused of attempting a coup following his election loss in 2022 and has been barred from running for office until 2030.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. There's been a vigil in Texas for victims of last Friday's flash flooding. At least 120 people are dead, more than 170 still missing.
The community around Kerr County here came together. They packed the local football stadium at the local high school with a prayer vigil. They called it the Kerr County Blessing. The volunteers and staff working to bring victims home total more than 2,000 in this area, just in this county alone. They include searchers with Texar, or Texas Search and Rescue, the Cajun Navy as well. Governor Greg Abbott has added 4 flood-related items to the upcoming special section of the Texas legislature. They include flood relief funding, communications, emergency communications equipment, and, of course, an early warning system.
Fox's Mike Tobin. 27 construction workers and 4 more who went in to help are all safely out of a tunnel that collapsed in Los Angeles. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
At least 2 people are reported killed in an overnight Russian drone and missile attack in Kyiv, Ukraine. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has been meeting with his Russian counterpart on the sidelines of a summit in Asia, his first trip there as secretary.
Secretary Rubio's main reason for visiting Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia is to attend the ASEAN Security Conference. But President Trump's threat of tariffs threatens to overshadow the visit. At least 8 countries targeted for trade taxes will be present at the conference, and Malaysia's Prime Minister has warned global trade is being weaponized. The State Department, though, says Secretary Rubio's focus will be on Chinese aggression in the South China Sea. The Trump administration wants to prioritize maritime safety and security. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy has another job for now as well, named interim NASA administrator. President Trump withdrew Jared Isaacman's nomination in May, the day after Elon Musk left his job at the White House. Musk and Isaacman are close associates. A child is killed, others are injured by a fallen tree branch at a summer camp in Calabasas, California.
The huge oak tree and one of its huge branches breaking off, crashing down into the area by a picnic table where we're told the 5 victims underneath that area. This branch, huge branch, comes crashing down. 1 small child dies, but then a dramatic attempt and rescue operation as they airlift another young child to the UCLA Ronald Reagan Medical Center from the Mountains Recreation and Conservation Authority. Quote, "We are devastated by the tragic loss of a young child at the summer camp at King Gillette Ranch in the Santa Monica Mountains. Words cannot express the depth of our sorrow."
Fox 11 LA's Ed Lascos. A deal is reportedly closed for the Michigan-based cereal giant Kellogg's to be bought by the Italian candy company Ferrero for nearly $3 billion. Kellogg started as the Battle Creek Toasted Cornflake Company in 1906. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News.
Here's the latest from the WIBX newsroom. I'm Doug Callan. A Plattsburgh man who exchanged child pornography with an 82-year-old Rome man was sentenced to 6 years in federal prison on Tuesday, according to prosecutors. According to the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of New York, 65-year-old Richard Hockersmith was sentenced for conspiring to receive and distribute child pornography and for possessing child porn. The Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers Wanted Person of the Week is up on our website. at WIBX950.com. Police in Oneida are looking for 54-year-old John C. Degosky, who they say is wanted on grand larceny charges and for writing nearly $10,000 in bad checks. A photo and full story is on our website. Crime Stoppers allows anonymous tips, and rewards can be paid out. Search for Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers or get all the details on our website at WIBX950.com. The New Hartford Police Department responded to the former St. Luke's Hospital on Champlain Ave Wednesday, right around 12 noon, following a 911 report of a man with a gun. Multiple police officers responded. They located the suspect near the rehabilitation unit on the campus. However, no weapon was found in his possession. The investigation is ongoing. People with any information can contact New Hartford Police or offer a tip through Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. This year's Boilermaker Road Race is expected to have a flyover. The event will take place, weather permitting, with the U.S. Air Force scheduled to perform the flyover at the post-race party. According to organizers, the 134th Fighter Squadron, known as the Green Mountain Boys from the Vermont Air National Guard, is scheduled to fly 2 F-35 Lightning II and 1 FA-18 aircraft over the Boilermaker Road Race at approximately 10:01:30 a.m. Senator Joe Griffo's office played a key role in securing the military flyover of the fighter jets. According to the National Cancer Institute, because of federal cuts, people are being laid off and research is being cut. After spearheading 34% in cuts in cancer mortality since 1990, the Cancer Institute in the NIH says they're bleeding resources and staff could see its budget cut by nearly 40% this year. In sports, former Giants quarterback Eli Manning is turning down an opportunity to buy an ownership stake in the franchise. Despite showing interest in purchasing a limited stake in the team, back in February, Manning says it's too expensive for him. The Giants could be willing to sell as much as 10% of the team to a limited owner. The middle game of the Mets' three-game set against the Orioles was postponed yesterday due to rain in Baltimore. The game will be made up as part of a split doubleheader that begins this afternoon. New York has won 5 of its last 6 games. On the other side of New York, the Yankees took down the Mariners 9-6 in the Bronx. Jazz Chisholm Jr. went deep with a pair of home runs. New York has won 3 straight, hopes to sweep the 3-game series against Seattle tonight at Yankee Stadium. The NBA Summer League in Vegas tips off today. The Nets are taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. The Knicks will face Detroit tomorrow night. And the 6 groups for this season's NBA Cup have been announced. Brooklyn is in the East Group B, and New York is in East Group C. The Nets are with the Celtics, Pistons, Magic, and Sixers, while the Knicks will be with the Bucks, Bulls, Heat, and Hornets. The full schedule will be announced in August. That's the latest. I'm Doug Callan for WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Rain chances with us here today. We should dry out by Friday, but a chance of showers and thunderstorms over the weekend. Could see a passing shower this morning. Better chance of a couple of showers, thunderstorms this afternoon. 85. A threat for showers early tonight. 65. Could dip into the upper 50s in the North Country. Good look at Friday. Sunshine. 87. Chance of showers and thunder showers over the weekend. I'm meteorologist Ray Stejek at the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, partly cloudy skies, some sunshine out there. Nice start to the day. It is 67 at WIBX. I want to tell you about Ricky Z and Steve Pawnee Mazda. You know, the Mazda More to Move You. Mazda's More to Move You sale. It is going on at Steve Pawnee Mazda. Save on, because they're giving you more opportunity, more inspiration to move you to Mazda. New Mazda lease. Enjoy 2.9% APR financing on new 2025 Mazda CX-30s and CX-5s. With 1.9% APR financing on new 2025 Mazda CX-50s, 70s, and CX-90s. See the dealership for details. And Rick and Wyatt and everybody over there, it's just a different car buying experience. And I have several family members that are now driving a Mazda. Mazda finished 2024 up 16.8% in sales year over year. So there's a reason for that. maybe it's time that you're driving a Mazda, and the place to go is Steep Pawnee Mazda, located on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. I'll get through this, I will. And as Rick always says, let's make your deal on a brand new Mazda from Steep Pawnee Mazda. And one of the issues in the world that we have to deal with here is the fact that Utica has one of the highest rates of lead in homes. And Beth, this is a major problem.
Yes, it is.
For children.
Yep.
Because you think about it, well, my kids aren't dealing with paint chips or any. It gets in the air.
Yeah, it's like asbestos.
And they're breathing it, and the dust from that, especially on the windowsills, as the windows open, that friction
doorways,
alone, and
doors
doorways.
Open and close. Yep.
Kids need to be tested as early as 1 or 2 years old, and lead poisoning can harm a child's brain, nervous system, speech, hearing, learning, and behavior. So talk to your doctor or healthcare provider, but there is help. LeadFreeMV.org is there. $30,000 per unit for lead hazard reduction funding. If you're a landlord, there's help. You may be able to have this completely fixed without any out-of-pocket expenses. Homeowners, even if you're a renter, there's help. Call today at 315-724-4197 or visit Lead Safe Utica by visiting online at leadfreemv.org. leadfreemv.org. All right, wait till you see what's going on with kids right now and artificial intelligence and what is happening in a school near you. This is not necessarily a school's fault. It's technology. And as Beth said earlier, when there's technology, when there's, humans, we just are amazing at finding a way to do something nefarious.
To corrupt it.
With everything. Yep. And we'll get to it coming up at WIBX.
Every once in a while, something that sounds too good to be true is actually in fact true. How would you like up to $2,000 of free windows? When I say $2,000 of free windows, I mean $2,000 of free windows. No gimmicks or games. You don't have to buy $2,000 to get $2,000 free. You just get $2,000 of free windows through Patriot Home Solutions and NYSERDA. Of course, some restrictions apply, but none of the restrictions are income-based. And you don't have to sit through a long, drawn-out sales presentation. Give Patriot a call at 315-401-0440, and they can quickly tell you over the phone if you qualify or how you can get qualified. That's 315-401-0440. These aren't any windows. They're high-quality, custom-fitted windows designed to save energy and keep the cold air out all winter. Your window solution is Patriot Home Solutions. Online at patriothomesolutions.com.
No one wants to leave behind stress for their family. That's why a trust or a will is so important. Without one, your assets might go to the wrong people or leave out loved ones. Also, probate is long, expensive, and often avoidable with a revocable trust. Trustandwill.com makes it simple to create a personalized estate plan. A trust or will provides clarity and peace of mind. Get 20% off on your estate plan documents by visiting trustandwill.com/radio.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name Clay as the promo code at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM present live coverage of the Boilermaker Road Race this Sunday from 7 until 10 a.m. Tune in live on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, good morning. It's 7:15. We're in Boilermaker Week. Boilermaker mode. This is awesome because when the sun's shining, the city looks really, really good, right?
Yeah, especially on Boilermaker weekend.
On Boilermaker weekend. Even people are like along the route or what have you, they're always making sure
mindset.
Their property is all ready to go. So everybody's all about that. So I want to tell you about Revive Softwave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Del Medico, an FDA-cleared, non-invasive, drug-free treatment for chronic pain, inflammation, and joint issues. This is amazing because it really allows it kickstarts your body to repair itself, to repair you. $99 new patient special. Ask about it with Dr. Timothy Del Medico. Call 315-725-8427. The Giants, the Lakers, the Cubs, endorsed by the Mayo Clinic. It's just the list goes on and on and on of professional athletes who utilize this. It's Revive Softwave Therapy for neck, back, knee, wrist, arthritis, shoulder pain. Call today and schedule an appointment. It's 315-725-8427. All right, Davey, what's next here? Keep me moving, man. Keep me moving.
You got Lieutenant Randy Sutton on the line talking about AI.
Okay, this is a crazy story, too. Lieutenant Randy Sutton is a 30-year law enforcement veteran, served 10 years in New Jersey, 24 with the Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. And I don't know how you handled that heat out in Vegas, but it's a great town. Good morning, Lieutenant Randy Sutton.
Good morning. Well, it's not too bad here right now. It's a very nice, cool 95.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, listen, I don't know. There's something about they say the heat is there's less humidity.
Yeah, there's no humidity out there.
And that makes it far more. And the other part is, I swear, when you're walking down any street in Vegas, the air conditioning is blowing right out into the street. It cools everything off. So, all right.
Absolutely.
This is I just saw a report on this. Kids who are using AI to create fake nudes of their classmates, and it's almost always you're almost always finding that it's a young girl, a young student female, who is the victim here. What do we know?
Yeah, this is a really disturbing trend, and it's happening more and more across the United States, actually across the world. So as AI has become, more and more sophisticated, there are actual apps called Nudify apps, believe it or not, and these kids are using. So all they have to do is take a photograph that may be posted on social media, or even they just take an innocent picture, and these apps they take your clothes off, or they create an image that looks indistinguishable from the real thing, and then these kids are putting this stuff online, and it is causing deep consternation within the education community and families. These little girls are having these photographs circulated, and they're indistinguishable from the real thing.
Yeah.
And so it's really causing a lot of issues.
So I think we're in a whole world right now of trying to define this legally, right? Is it pedophilia? Is it obviously naked photos of an underage female or male? That is illegal. But these are not real photos. This is what kind of makes this really tricky.
Yeah, and the laws have not caught up to the technology. Yeah. This is we've seen this before, where technology is leaping forward, and the states haven't caught up with it. So, in order to put any teeth in, that means that have some type of teeth.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, many do not. Just like many of the schools don't even know that these apps exist, and so they don't even have policies that cover it.
Yeah. Child exploitation, non-consensual images. They are able to, if I'm correct, you can take like a headshot and it'll create the rest of the fake body, if you will.
Absolutely. That is exactly what's happening. So and there are, believe it or not, hundreds of these apps.
Yeah.
There's been lawsuits that have been filed against these companies, but it's like whack-a-mole. You knock one off, and 10 more pop up, and they're being visited, millions and millions and millions of views.
Okay,
so it shows you.
Yeah. In fact, I was looking at the numbers: 200 million visits in the first half of 2023. And here's the other part: we're talking about kids here utilizing this. We have a story in our news this morning about two very adult men who were arrested for kiddie porn and distributing these child pornography pictures that are real. If you're that sort of person, you got to be having a field day with these websites.
Well, sure. So it's several prongs to this. You have the pedophiles who are sharing on the dark web. They're sharing real images of kiddie porn that are, and believe me, as a cop, I've made a number of arrests for some of this type of activity, and it's horrifying. Some of the sexual perversions that are out there, but then you add on to that this AI portion, and much of this isn't for the pedophilia roles; it's for bullying. Right. It's for bullying other students. Yeah, and so this is what's creating such a furor around the nation.
Yeah, the boy and girl break up, and boyfriend angry, and all of a sudden these photos are being distributed throughout the school. Bad. Lieutenant Randy Sutton, a couple things I wanted to mention. You have a book coming out, Rescuing 911, The Fight for America's Safety. You also have a podcast, a Cop's Life podcast, which I'm assuming is available wherever you get your podcasts.
Exactly. And actually, the book, Rescuing 911, was released 2 months ago, hit the Amazon #1 bestseller within days. So it's on Amazon, and it's a must-read for anybody that cares about the safety of their families and where this nation is going.
Okay. Lieutenant, we appreciate it. Thank you for your service, and we'll hopefully do it again sometime.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much. Well, there you go. It is crazy, and
that is terrifying.
The problem that you have is it's this cross between like free expression, free speech.
Yeah, but come on.
And I believe me, it's a problem, especially when it's hitting the schools. There was an NBC story maybe a month ago. Actually, it was the inspiration to inspire the federal law to take it down. There was a girl, she was 15 years old and in school, and all of a sudden there were what looked like real nude photos of her in a tough position, circulating around the school. It was all AI.
Well, and the
real.
thing is, how do you protect yourself against that?
Yeah. Scott in Kirkland, it's been a while. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Hey, listen, Saratoga starts today. It starts earlier because they were up there for the 4th of July. It was actually Belmont at Saratoga. This is the official opening day, actually, of Saratoga today.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, it actually, Bill, last week, I think I saw two Derby horses that would be interested in this from here. The one horse is called Hewing.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's after Pat or what, but it was super impressive. And then there was they moved to Sanford for some reason to last. It used to be the first day at Saratoga, but there's a horse called Obliteration.
Okay.
That he won.
What is it called? What is the name of the horse again?
I think it's called Obliteration.
Obliteration?
He won the Sanford. Yeah, he won the Sanford. He was more professional. Usually you don't see 2-year-olds sitting behind horses and making a move.
Okay.
Well, Ewing just took off and super fast. So keep an eye on those two horses. They're 2-year-olds, and the progression this year. And I'm sure they probably end up in the Breeders' Cup later on. But
yeah. I think the horse is Obliteration. I could be
Obliteration. Yeah, it could be.
Well, that too.
He won the
Maybe
Sanford.
Yeah.
But he was more professional. I was more impressed. He won a race at Churchill the same way, where he sat behind horses, and you just don't see that in 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
Usually it's just how fast you are at this particular time.
Now,
but,
Saratoga gets underway, but the Travers won't happen until the end of August, right?
No, August 23rd.
Yeah,
I
somewhere
believe
in there.
is, that it's
right.
the week before Labor Day. It's that you got that, and then of course the big day. Syracuse plays Tennessee the following weekend. That's Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, listen, a lot of people with really pretty good anticipation of Syracuse this year. I hope it's going to be a good year.
Well,
yeah.
The Vegas over/under is funny. It's actually lower than last year because of the schedule. It's only 5.5.
Tough schedule.
I think there's a legit shot of going over 5.5.
Scott, I got to tell you, I've had more people say they cannot believe that you are unable to listen to the show because you don't have a smartphone or you don't have a computer. And however, Davey is telling me that you have made the move to technology.
Yeah, actually, what I was doing, I was actually going to move down a half a mile. I was looking for a different house. I figured that'd be the easiest way.
Right, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah.
Or we can put Rondinelli, like I said, put him up there with some aluminum foil on the transfer. Just give me half an ohm or something like that. That might help out right there.
Am I correct in saying you're able to watch on YouTube now?
I will be able to probably. Yeah.
Oh, you will be able
to. By the way, producer / co-host Dave is on fire at NASCAR and golf. So
Davey's telling me he's winning like crazy on NASCAR.
Oh, he's nuts.
Yeah.
I have never seen somebody win so many races at NASCAR because so many crazy things happen.
Yeah,
he's amazing. That's hard to predict, I think, than some of the stuff. I don't play baseball because look what happens. You could have, everybody's going to win 60, everybody's going to lose 60, and it's the other 40, and So that's why I don't really bet. I bet players if I think they're going to get hits that day. Freeman from the Dodgers, I played all last week, and I played him two bases or more. You can play bases, and he was on fire for the Dodgers.
Well, you see, streaks are always good. The problem is though that Vegas catches up pretty quickly, so you gotta hit it before it's big.
Well,
I guess.
Look at Judge. The guy's on fire, but he was like, 0 for 20 at one time, and then all of a sudden he's on fire. Just got to catch it right. That's why baseball, I learned a long time ago, 40 years ago, and I bet the Red Sox when Roger Clemens was there. They're playing Baltimore, and in the money line when teams like that are super high, like the Yankees, you're always going to have to go up to. So Baltimore wins the first 2 games of the series. Clemens is pitching. And I saw they're going to lose 3 in a row in a 4-game series. I was wrong. And Baltimore never swept the Red Sox in Fenway. So I doubled up on the next game. And guess what? The first time in history, Baltimore sweeps the Red Sox. And I said, that's it.
That's it. I'm done. All right. Good stuff, Scott. Saratoga opening today for those that like to get out there and check it out. So.
Yep.
All right.
May the horses be with you guys.
Okay. All right. Thanks, man. Scott in Kirkville. Davey, I thought you said he was on YouTube, but apparently not.
Well, he said he told me he was trying to be on YouTube.
Oh, okay. All right. You can always watch on YouTube at any time or download the WIBX 950 app if you have a phone with some technology, which he does not.
Right.
I don't think a flip phone is going to cut it.
He's had so much trouble with that flip phone.
Well, YouTube is a great way, but if you're searching in the App Store or Google Play, just search for WIBX 950, and you can download. The app is absolutely free.
And the segments are up on the podcast. Listen, Keeler, listen live.
You go on the trending bar on our website on Keeler, and you will be able to. Every segment is up there. So by interview. So if it's Anthony Pacini, you'll see that right there and the date and all of that. And by the way, he's coming up in a few minutes. Lots to talk about, including this survey they want people to take on healthcare. We'll get to that. Hobica's free money question of the day is worth $300 this morning. And listen, I have a doable question that we'll get to coming up, so stand by. It's Thursday, July 10th, Boilermaker Week at WIBX.
When the foot's placed in the ideal position, everything else up the kinetic chain works better. You have better balance, more energy, you're gonna feel better. Being able to move freely and out of pain means everything to me, and good movement starts with the feet.
We're in your neighborhood. Find the location nearest you and book your appointment at goodfeet.com. Good Feet Arch Supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book an appointment for your free personalized fitting at goodfeet.com or just stop in. Walk-ins are welcome. Don't just live with the pain. Discover your options at the Good Feet store.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name Clay as the promo code at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Here's the latest from the WIBX newsroom. I'm Doug Callan. A Plattsburgh man who exchanged child pornography with an 82-year-old Rome man was sentenced to 6 years in federal prison on Tuesday, according to prosecutors. According to the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of New York, 65-year-old Richard Hockersmith was sentenced for conspiring to receive and distribute child pornography and for possessing child porn. The Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers Wanted Person of the Week is up on our website at WIBX950.com. Police in Oneida are looking for 54-year-old John C. Degosky, who they say is wanted on grand larceny charges and for writing nearly $10,000 in bad checks. A photo and full story is on our website. The New Hartford Police Department responded to the former St. Luke's Hospital on Champlain Ave Wednesday, right around 12 noon, following a 911 report of a man with a gun. Multiple police officers responded. They located the suspect near the rehabilitation unit on the campus. However, no weapon was found in his possession. The investigation is ongoing. People with any information can contact New Hartford Police or offer a tip through Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. This year's Boilermaker Road Race is expected to have a flyover. The event will take place, weather permitting, with the U.S. Air Force scheduled to perform the flyover at the post-race party. According to organizers, the 134th Fighter Squadron, known as the Green Mountain Boys from the Vermont Air National Guard, is scheduled to fly 2 F-35 Lightning II and 1 FA-18 aircraft over the Boilermaker Road Race at approximately 10:01:30 a.m. Senator Joe Griffo's office played a key role in securing the military flyover of the fighter jets. That's the latest. I'm Doug Callan for WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Rain chances with us here today. We should dry out by Friday, but a chance of showers and thunderstorms over the weekend. Could see a passing shower this morning. Better chance of a couple of showers, thunderstorms this afternoon. 85. A threat for showers early tonight. 65. Could dip into the upper 50s in the North Country. Good look at Friday. Sunshine. 87. Chance of showers and thunder showers over the weekend. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajik at the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
We have sun and clouds right now and 69 degrees. Somebody asking Davey, your Doug is talking about the time of the flyover being 10:01:30, and they're like, "What is that? What time is that?" I don't understand that. We deal in seconds as well as minutes, right? So it's 10:01 and 30 seconds exactly. It's military. So 10:01, so 90 seconds after the top of the hour on Sunday morning, and it'll be spot on because I deal with that from the stage, and you'll see those flyovers.
So as soon as the person, whoever it is, going to be singing the national anthem from our contest is done, that's when the flyovers comes, right?
We kind of changed that up just a little bit, but yes.
Oh, okay.
So if you you want to be inside the brewery at least by 9:55:30. Get it? 9:55:30. I do want to get a little a little more from on our Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers Wanted Person of the Week. Lieutenant Ryan Warner is with the United City Police Department. And Lieutenant, good morning. Tell us what you have on this week's Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers Wanted Person of the Week.
Good morning. Yeah, we got John Degosky, and we did him last month as well. Since then, we have obtained a new warrant for another charge. The charges involve grand larceny in the 4th degree, grand larceny in the 3rd degree, and 2 counts of issuing a bad check. So they might be in the Sequoia area. We're also showing that he might be in Mohawk.
Okay. Also might be wanted, I believe is wanted also in Rome, right?
Yeah, we were contacted by Rome in regards to a case that they are proceeding with. I'm not sure where they stand on their end.
Okay, all right. So it's all up on our website, photos, and there are a few different looks that this person has, and you can check it out at WIBX950.com. The other part of this that I think that's important, Lieutenant, is Crime Stoppers. Great way to be able to report something, send it a tip to authorities, and do it 100% anonymously.
That's correct. They help us out a lot. That's where we got some information from the last week, and they have helped us out in the past with locating people that we had wanted.
Okay. All right. We appreciate it. Lieutenant Ryan Warner, have a great day, and thanks for your service.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks so much. That's Mohawk Valley CrimeStoppers.com. If you want to look at it, check our website out at WIBX950.com. Coming up, we'll speak with Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacini. But before we get there, Davey, we'll do the Hobica free money question of the day. And I've already heard from Hobica, and he said Davey is getting to be a little bit out of control since he won his 2 awards. He's not happy.
Sorry, Joe.
$300 on the line right now. What caller number? This is a biggie. And I've already given a clue. What caller number are you looking at?
Caller number 8.
8th caller right now. $300 is on the line. 315-736-0186. As I said, $300 is on the line. Boilermaker Weekend is almost here. The New York Sash people, everybody over at New York Sash celebrating, and some exciting ways to help you get into the race day spirit. First of all, they're doing a little contest. It's to test your knowledge on the Boilermaker contest with something they call 5Q, the Boilermaker Trivia Challenge from New York Sash. Today's theme is numbers game, focusing on the impressive logistics of the race, like the 18 water stations, the Squincher station, the electrolyte station, 34 aid medical stations, and over 40 porta-johns scattered along the 9.3-mile course. Just head over to NewYorkSash.com/5Q and answer 5 Boilermaker trivia questions. And they also come with 5 pretty cool, easy clues that will help you out. You could win big. You can play every day through Boilermaker Sunday, and every score you enter gives you a shot at awesome prizes like a Weber camping grill, tickets to Water Safari, the Utica Zoo, Blue Sox games, New York Sash gift card, even a full-year subscription to the Daily Sentinel. And speaking of that, in their July 5th edition, it included the Boilermaker cheer poster. You can hang it on your window, wave it across the course, or you can show your support wherever you are. Tape it up in your car or something. If you miss the paper, you can swing by the showroom at New York Sash. They have an extra copy waiting there for you, where you can also take advantage of buy 2, get 1 free. This is normally a wintertime sale. Buy 2 New York Sash windows, get 1 free. There's no limit. Could be buy 5, get 10 free. Or buy 10, get 5 free. I think this is the way that should be. It's Christmas in July as they're celebrating. Good luck to all the runners. New York Sash says enjoy Boilermaker Weekend, which is now pretty darn close to getting underway with the Health Expo happening on Friday. All right, hold tight. We'll give Elizabeth a chance at $300. Hobica's free money question is next.
Hi folks, this is Rob Hilton. Your family is your greatest treasure. Is your estate plan ready to protect them when it matters most? At Hilton Estate and Elder Law, we understand the importance of getting it right. That's why we offer a free review of your current plan. Together we'll assess it and provide honest feedback to ensure it truly works. No cost, no obligation, just confidence and peace of mind. Let's prepare for the future together. Schedule a free review today.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law.
Hey there, it's summer and the energy is on. One of my favorite quotes is energy is everything. Lisa here, and we're turning up the heat at Fit Body Boot Camp with our summer sizzle. Life gets crazy this time of year, but just 30 minutes of exercise can keep you fit, focused, and feeling fantastic. With 2 convenient locations in Whitesboro and Clinton, Fit Body Boot Camp's summer sizzle will help you feel confident and strong. Did I mention that we have air conditioning? We're not just a gym, we're a community that inspires fitness and changes lives. Ready to take that first step? Come join us and get fit for summer.
When it comes to the ones we love, their comfort and dignity matter most. That is why hospice and palliative care is here for you. When you want your loved ones' wishes to be honored, when you want them to be comfortable, safe, and secure, and when you want them to be wherever they call home, hospice and palliative care is the right choice. Our team of professional doctors, nurses, social workers, and bereavement counselors are dedicated to providing compassionate care every step of the way. At hospice, your loved one is not alone, and neither are you. We are just a phone call away, ready to support you through this journey. Choose Hospice and Palliative Care, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison County for the comfort and dignity your loved ones deserve. For more information, visit our website, hospicecareinc.org, or call us today at 315-735-6484. Hospice and Palliative Care, Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison counties.
When you need us most.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
All right, Tim, time for the Father's Day quiz. Are you ready?
Yes, Bill Keeler, I'm ready.
All right, name 3 things you can do for your family on Father's Day. Ready, go.
Wear the ugly tie to dinner.
Wrong.
Tell them I love the zebra striped boxers.
Wrong. Last chance. Here we go.
Actually, listen to my doctor and get tested for cancer so that I can be around next year.
That's the answer we're looking for. Plan to be here for Father's Day next year. Real men get tested for cancer.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
You can also join us for our Boilermaker live broadcast, where we'll call the race and deal with a whole bunch of people crossing the finish line and all of that on Sunday morning. Davey, it starts at 7 a.m. and we go till what, 10? 7 till 10?
7 till 10, Bill.
All right. And for the first time ever, I'll be a part of that, and then run over to the backstage and get everything rolling for the post-race party, which is going to be awesome this year.
And I'll be in the mothership.
And that's Davey. Okay, let's give Elizabeth a chance to win Hobica's free money question of the day. Hello, Elizabeth. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing? Are you, I'm trying to stop that. Are you ready to take a shot here? This is worth $300.
Would be cool.
You know, when was the last time you went to a concert?
I can't even, years ago.
Yeah. Let me tell you. It is, how about you, Beth? Have you,
a couple of years we were out at the Turning Stone.
I'll be at the Turning Stone Saturday night watching Wallflowers. That's Bob Dylan's kid. Love that band. Anyway, that one isn't too bad, but you want to go see Elton John or McCartney, or you're going to be spending like $500-$600
can't even afford the tickets for that.
for bad seats.
Yeah.
It's like going to a Mets-Yankees game. Holy crap, that's terrible. Okay, that's my little clue for you, and here we go. Here is your question. We're at the 40th anniversary of Live Aid. They were raising money for the hungry, and here is the question. How much was a ticket to see all of the artists appear at Live Aid in JFK in Philadelphia 40 years ago? How much? Ready? Go.
$60.
Was it $60 in 1985? You're close. It was half of that. $35 to see the. Yeah, I was hoping you heard my clue earlier and you were looking all this stuff up and it would be right there on your cheat sheet.
See, I would have said $40.
I'm getting ready to go to my gym class, so I was getting ready to brush my teeth, and I go, well, let me just
take a shot.
Let me just see if I can.
Well, listen, we are gonna give you the it's a $25 gift card. I mean, listen, you lose here and you walk away with a $25 gift card. Good at
Okay, that's
Aquafino and Babes and Taylor
it's
and the
restaurant
Cook.
week.
And it's restaurant week.
Yeah.
Yeah, good time to do it.
Cool.
Stand by. Davey's going to get your information, okay?
Okay.
All right. You have a great day at gym class.
Okay.
All right, stand by. Davey, she's all yours. In studio right now is County Executive Anthony Pacenti. Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you know the answer to that?
I did not.
Yeah.
I did not. I figured it would have been around there. I mean, I would have guessed probably around that range.
Yeah.
$40 or $50.
Yeah, I think
I would have said 40 or 50
was
too.
kind of interesting.
But I would have said 40 because it's 40th anniversary.
40th anniversary.
Yeah.
$35 would have gotten you everything.
It is crazy what tickets are.
I believe it was $6 in 1977 to see the Cars at the Utica Memorial Auditorium.
Really?
1970, whatever it was.
That's one of the big topics when we have campfires in the backyard. My husband always talks about. He grew up in West Utica, so they saw all the big names at the Odd.
Yeah.
You know, he saw like Kiss for
there were
$4.
Oh, yeah, there were.
You know, the big name Ozzy Osbourne.
Springsteen was at the Odd.
Springsteen.
78, I think it was.
There were many great shows that came there.
Yeah.
When he was an electrician, there's catwalks up in the upper egg.
Yeah.
And there's actually a beam up there that Gene Simmons signed.
Yeah.
When they were waiting to go on stage for one of their concerts, and it's still there.
I also think that David Lee Roth might have when Van Halen was. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But yeah, I heard the beam signing thing. That's I lived up there for a week raising money for charity. So
Elvis was almost there.
Elvis was almost there. That was such a sad time for my mom. And many others. He made it to Syracuse.
He did.
And I had said
the year before,
Mom, you didn't want to be there. Trust me, because it was sad. It was kind of sad, the demise of Elvis. Okay, I got to say the city. This is it's an everybody effort. It's a regional effort. It's Boilermaker Week. Everything really is looking really nice.
It is.
Things are coming together.
It is, and it's a different. I think people will see, again, as they have the last few years, a different landscape of the city.
Yeah,
as they keep coming through, and I heard that last year from a lot of people when we were at the finish line.
I heard somebody yesterday tell me that they may be parking at the. I guess this is okay. Parking at the hospital.
Well, yeah, the garage. I don't think we were ready last year.
Right.
I think
that is a whole. New...
So we did have some meetings with MVHS and with Mark and the group at Boilermaker to make some of those spots available.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's another added piece this year that we weren't fortunate to have last year.
I want to add, so you just put out there's a whole survey regarding healthcare.
Right.
And I think we're to that point now where, we've made the moves that have to be made.
Right.
And now what's needed? What additional is needed?
Yeah, I think it's, that it's an ongoing thing that, every couple of years, but yeah, it's kind of fitting right now. I mean, and fitting at this time of year too with the Boilermaker because, the health expo that takes place. The thing is, we only do those things, at the Boilermaker or at the Heart Run.
Yeah.
We really should do more of those. But it's really a matter of now you've got WIN, you've got, different medical buildings and practices that have expanded and opened up.
Yeah.
You've got Rome Health that has expanded and really, enlarged the footprint and services. So, let's see what's out there. Let's hear from people, and it's really easy. It's a real easy survey. Go on our website, Oneida County, New York, OneidaCountyNY.gov. Click on the survey. Take you 5 minutes, if not less, and just answer the questions. And it's about it's the demographic typical stuff, but it's also about how do you rate everything. What do you think?
Yeah.
Where
can we?
Where are their weaknesses?
Yeah.
Where are the issues?
It is amazing, really, right now when you think about all the things that can be done here that couldn't be done here before.
Sure.
And
the volume of
travel
that too. The volume of that, whether it was just one, rather than now you can do multiple.
Right. Yeah.
At that time, and that's and that's the other benefit of what not just WIN, but Rome Health expanding that surgical wing and the ICU unit. I mean, those are so crucial today.
Yeah.
And it was for the longest time, upgrading emergency rooms, expanding them, which is still, you can never have a big enough emergency room.
Yeah, it's always going to be a challenge.
It's always a challenge.
Yeah.
But the other pieces are significant. So, we want to see what everybody's doing, and we want to share that data with, the help. We will share that data with the healthcare systems to say, here's what we found. Here's what people are thinking.
Yeah. And believe me, they have opinions. There are a lot of opinions out there.
They do.
when it comes
to
that.
And, it's one of those things that one positive or one negative changes.
Yeah.
Changes the whole scope.
And I see we're gonna get Ann was gonna have a question. Ann and Rome will have a question for you coming up. But I do think that the improvements that are happening in Rome, obviously everything that's happened here. And then you have other facilities, whether it's Slocum Dixon or Bassett, that are all part of this.
Well, that and then the medical building. Across from
CNY Cardiology building.
The Cub building is really, critical. Especially with the ambulatory surgical center that's soon that's a part of that.
Yeah.
That complements the hospital, so that you didn't have before.
I got to say that it's obvious that general health, the health of its citizens or its residents or whatever word you want to use, is a top priority for your administration. I mean, and it's not just one big thing. It's a lot of little things that have kind of built up to some big things.
Right.
That you just stuck with it. You got it done.
Well, we spend, we do, aside from what, we have advocated with, in the hospital systems, which, that was kind of different because we didn't really engage, even though we communicated and partnered with them on various things. We didn't engage to the extent that we have the last several years with Rome Health and with WIN. But it's we spend millions in public health, alone on the county end.
Yep.
From various things, whether you talked earlier this week about lead. That's one aspect that we that I instituted back when I began as a primary focus. And then whether it's all of the various immunizations we've gone through and COVID and H1N1 and all those other things. I mean, we are a major player in that field, despite the fact that we're not that large a player in volume.
I also think one of the game changers for this community is the community foundation.
It is. And the focus. Well, it's been the focus of the community foundation. I think Alicia.
It's been a major change because they were a very quiet organization prior.
They were. I mean, and they were, philanthropy, with a lot of money, with a lot of money in different areas, and all good areas that, centered around arts and culture and various pieces that.
This is a more active community foundation.
It is. And it's more engaged in social issues and public issues.
I have Mike saying, I cannot believe you did not mention the Grateful Dead doing 2 night shows, 2 nights at the Odd. God knows how much those tickets were. And Ann in Rome is on with the county executive. Ann, good morning. You're on with Tony Pisani.
Good morning. I just want to say I am not computer savvy. I went online to fill it out. It took me minutes, and it was so easy, but every question on there was important to the people in this area. So I advise everybody to get online. It takes a couple minutes, great questions, easy to fill out, best thing. And if you need help with anything, Tony, I'm right there for you.
I know you are. Thanks, Annie.
And I got to tell you, Ann, I mean, you're going through what you're going through right now, and you're able to, you're able to get the treatment that you need right here at home.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
a big deal.
It's unbelievable. And I'll tell you, when I went during the snowstorm, when I broke my clavicle, Rome Hospital emergency room doctor found the cancer.
Yeah. Think about that.
This guy saved my life.
Yep. Listen, I can say the same thing twice. So it's if it wasn't for your Lord, that's the importance of of really making this whole healthcare system work for all of us. So, all right.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for all you do. Have a good day, everybody.
All right, Ann, thank you. I do think she was not talking to me when she said thank you for all that you do. I think she was talking to you. And then just we'll wrap with, so to take the survey easy,
Sure.
go to the website.
Easy, go to the website.
And then just to wrap up, there's a lot of big things that are happening right now. And can you just because I'm not sure. The excitement of the Chobani thing is kind of blown over just a little bit. People aren't, but I'm not sure everybody realizes what is coming. This is enormous.
It is, and it seems to be, and there's not a day that goes by we're not working on it. In fact, got text early this morning from Chobani on setting up. They're coming next week to outline some things. Some of their contractors are out there today looking at the site to get some of their measurements, and some of their other their engineers are doing some evaluation. This is really going to be a big. It's going to be a massive project.
Yeah.
But, and when we use the term always, whether it's game changer or transformational, I mean, I really, I think I'm getting blown away by it more and more, even though we see it. And, that's why I think it's just a real exciting time, with them, and I have to give a shout out to them because when, just to show, and they've always been a great community partner, and Beth knows this very well from the markets, but also from any of the events that we've had. But, the minute they heard about the tornado in Clayton and Clark Mills last week, they sent Super Milk Cup, they sent yogurt up, trucks of we're there like right away. I mean, that's the kind of community partner they are. But but along with everything else, it is and they're already talking about the next phase, which we haven't even gotten into the land piece of that.
Yeah, so there's always been a room for expansion in a second phase.
Exactly.
So you're saying you're already talking
We're
about
talking
the second
about
phase.
it already, and that's one of the things they want to talk about. When they come up, and so I think it's just going to be exciting, to see that development. And I think it's good. I'm hopeful that the timeline is solid, and because I think it's going to happen relatively a short amount of time. So
I think it's safe to say that they're not just moving here; they're investing here on multiple levels in the community.
They are. And so we'll see what happens. And that's why working on the other thing I'm doing today is I've got one of our consultant who did some work with us on Murnane Field and that and that growth, coming to look at the hangars at the runway project. So that's another thing that's going to be.
So that is not just a proposal, that is happening.
That's I'm going for.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
That's going to be. I mean,
I'm interested to see what's out there. Obviously, we want we're meeting today with just one group just to get some ideas and concept for the RFP that we're going to be sending out very shortly. To say, look, here's what we got. How can we make it work?
And it really will. You're talking about this enormous hangar out at Griffiths that will be a 12-month out of the year, year-round facility.
Absolutely.
That is a big game changer for parents who want their kids to be able to, we're at such a disadvantage when it comes to so many sports because, in the South, they're out all year long.
Yeah, but the other thing we've proven with Nexus and with the Aud and even before that is it's so easy to get here.
Yeah,
and that's the other. That's a benefit that we have that a lot of communities don't, especially the location of these facilities.
Yeah.
They're easily accessible. They're not traveling through all different routes and whatever. It's a direct shot.
All right.
See you Sunday.
Sunday
on the stage.
Should be a very exciting weekend. So.
It should. And
you guys
a hot one.
And a hot one. So
you guys had about 40,000 of your friends, right?
Yeah, about 40,000. Hydrate, as they say.
Yes.
Make sure you get a lot of water. And a quick break. News coming up straight ahead at WIBX.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. W2 WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, celebrating 100 years.
Prayers in Texas. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. It's day 7 of the search for everyone missing since flash floods hit central Texas. More than 170 people are reported missing. At least 120 are dead. There's a prayer vigil at a high school football stadium in Kerrville.
As the search continues in Kerr County, Texas, for those still missing from last week's deadly floods, a crowd gathered at Antler Stadium on Wednesday night to remember the more than 120 people who died in the catastrophe. A local youth pastor spoke to those on hand, many wearing green ribbons, the color for Camp Mystic, where at least 27 campers and counselors died.
Our communities were struck with tragedy literally in the darkness, in the middle of the night.
Officials say 5 campers and 1 counselor remain unaccounted for. President Trump plans to visit the state tomorrow. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Suspensions are announced for 6 Secret Service agents over failures before the Trump assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania last July. The man accused of trying to kill Donald Trump at his golf club in Florida in September, Ryan Ruth, has a federal court hearing today about his request for new public defenders. The president confirms a new tariff on copper imports kicking in August 1st.
The president announced a new 50% tariff on copper imports. He wrote this: I'm announcing a 50% tariff on copper effective August 1st, 2025, after receiving a robust national security assessment. Copper is necessary for semiconductors, aircraft, and even hypersonic weapons, of which we are building many. Copper is the second most used material by the Department of Defense.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. 2 people are reported killed, 16 injured in a Russian drone and missile attack hitting Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, overnight. The United Nations reports at least 232 civilians were killed, more than 1,300 wounded in Russian attacks in Ukraine last month. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month, but what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
A federal judge in Maryland is holding a hearing today about the federal government's threat to redeport Kilmar Abrego Garcia if he's released on bail before trial on criminal charges in Tennessee. That's where he's currently in custody after being brought back from El Salvador.
That federal judge is overseeing Kilmar Abrego Garcia's wrongful deportation case, saying, quote, I need to understand the process, someone who can answer questions about the immediate next steps if Mr. Abrego is released from criminal custody. Abrego Garcia's attorneys called the DOJ's plans, quote, disturbing, as they seek to have him return to Maryland. The judge also noting that if today's witness testimony is, quote, substantive and persuasive, and shows that the government will respect Abrego Garcia's due process rights, then she will avoid issuing an order sought by his attorneys that would bar the government from deporting him.
Fox's Chandler Painter. The former Prime Minister of Bangladesh is indicted over alleged crimes against humanity.
Sheikh Hasina has been in exile in India since last August. She left the post of Bangladesh's Prime Minister after a mass uprising in which hundreds of students were killed. Now a special tribunal has accepted charges of crimes against humanity filed against her. Hasina is being tried in absentia alongside a former government minister. It's alleged she ordered mass killings, targeted violence against women and children, the incineration of bodies and denying of medical treatment. The charges describe Hasina as being the mastermind, conductor and superior commander. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Stock futures are flat ahead of the opening bell on Wall Street. Sports, the NBA's Phoenix Suns signed guard Devin Booker to a 2-year, $145 million maximum contract extension, keeping him with the team to the 2029-30 season. The New York Yankees cut 2-time batting champ DJ LeMahieu with a year and a half and $22 million left on his contract. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News.
Here's the latest from the WIBX newsroom. I'm Doug Callan. A Plattsburgh man who exchanged child pornography with an 82-year-old Rome man was sentenced to 6 years in federal prison on Tuesday, according to prosecutors. According to the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of New York, 65-year-old Richard Hockersmith was sentenced for conspiring to receive and distribute child pornography and for possessing child porn. The Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers Wanted Person of the Week is up on our website at WIBX950.com. Police in Oneida are looking for 54-year-old John C. Degosky, who they say is wanted on grand larceny charges and for writing nearly $10,000 in bad checks. A photo and full story is on our website. Crime Stoppers allows anonymous tips, and rewards can be paid out. Search for Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers or get all the details on our website at WIBX950.com. The New Hartford Police Department responded to the former St. Luke's Hospital on Champlain Ave Wednesday, right around 12 noon, following a 911 report of a man with a gun. Multiple police officers responded. They located the suspect near the rehabilitation unit on the campus. However, no weapon was found in his possession. The investigation is ongoing. People with any information can contact New Hartford Police or offer a tip through Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. This year's Boilermaker Road Race is expected to have a flyover. The event will take place, weather permitting, with the U.S. Air Force scheduled to perform the flyover at the post-race party. According to organizers, the 134th Fighter Squadron, known as the Green Mountain Boys from the Vermont Air National Guard, is scheduled to fly 2 F-35 Lightning II and 1 FA-18 aircraft over the Boilermaker Road Race at approximately 10:01:30 a.m. Senator Joe Griffo's office played a key role in securing the military flyover of the fighter jets. According to the National Cancer Institute, because of federal cuts, people are being laid off and research is being cut. After spearheading 34% in cuts in cancer mortality since 1990, the Cancer Institute in the NIH says they're bleeding resources and staff could see its budget cut by nearly 40% this year. In sports, former Giants quarterback Eli Manning is turning down an opportunity to buy an ownership stake in the franchise. Despite showing interest in purchasing a limited stake in the team, back in February, Manning says it's too expensive for him. The Giants could be willing to sell as much as 10% of the team to a limited owner. The middle game of the Mets' three-game set against the Orioles was postponed yesterday due to rain in Baltimore. The game will be made up as part of a split doubleheader that begins this afternoon. New York has won 5 of its last 6 games. On the other side of New York, the Yankees took down the Mariners 9-6 in the Bronx. Jazz Chisholm Jr. went deep with a pair of home runs. New York has won 3 straight, hopes to sweep the 3-game series against Seattle tonight at Yankee Stadium. The NBA Summer League in Vegas tips off today. The Nets are taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. The Knicks will face Detroit tomorrow night. And the 6 groups for this season's NBA Cup have been announced. Brooklyn is in the East Group B, and New York is in East Group C. The Nets are with the Celtics, Pistons, Magic, and Sixers, while the Knicks will be with the Bucks, Bulls, Heat, and Hornets. The full schedule will be announced in August. That's the latest. I'm Doug Callan for WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Rain chances with us here today. We should dry out by Friday, but a chance of showers and thunderstorms over the weekend. Could see a passing shower this morning. Better chance of a couple of showers, thunderstorms this afternoon. 85. A threat for showers early tonight. 65. Could dip into the upper 50s in the North Country. Good look at Friday. Sunshine. 87. Chance of showers and thunder showers over the weekend. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajek at the Weather Channel, WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Well, some sunshine out there. Partly cloudy skies. We are now at 70. With a hot one on the way here today, 70 degrees at 8:09. River Hills Properties continues to be one of the fastest growing real estate companies in all of central New York and upstate New York, and it's all about service, providing that extra service So the stress level for you, if you're the homeowner looking to sell your home, or even if you're looking to buy, the stress level reduced significantly because they take care of all the problems. And oftentimes what you find is the knowledge that they have at River Hills, they're taking care of the problem before it actually raises its ugly head. It's that knowledge that prevents the problems from happening in the first place, which allows you to get through a much less stressful process, we'll put it that way. They have offices very convenient in all of upstate New York, in Barneveld, Little Falls, Copenhagen to the north, in Utica, Newport, a new office coming to the city of Rome, and, of course, Sarasota, Florida, on the Gulf Coast side of beautiful southern Florida. It's River Hills Properties, committed to upstate New York, and committed to service and making that process go so much easier. It is, and for almost everyone, the largest transaction you'll ever be involved in, and you need somebody to guide you through it with full service. That's River Hills. Call today at 315-896-1009. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
Imagine this. You're at your daughter's soccer game. She makes a shot and suddenly goes down in a lot of pain. It's her ankle. As a parent, you know the faster she gets to the right people, the sooner she'll be on her way to recovery. And treating this pain is an emergency. The orthopedic care she needs is just minutes away at Community Memorial. If it's real pain, head to our new emergency room in Hamilton. We have the shortest wait times in the area. We can get pain under control and then quickly get you into one of our world-class specialists at Community Memorial Center for Orthopedics. Whether it's a new injury or long-term joint pain, we also have orthopedic clinics on weekdays in Hamilton, Wednesdays in New Hartford, and Thursdays in Cazenovia, with walk-ins welcome. Imagine a healthcare system that's dedicated to getting you to some of the best orthopedic specialists in the area in the shortest time possible. That's Community Memorial Center for Orthopedics. Visit orthoemergency.com.
Mattress Express's summer sale is on. Get a king for the price of a queen for the price of a full, and a full for the price of a twin, starting at just $4.99. Beautiful select therapeutic mattresses. Go to mattressexpressny.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
The Utica Stampede and Rodeo and Expo comes back to the Adirondack Bank Center. 2 days of rodeo fun with 8 different events, with over 30 of the best bull riders in the Northeast competing for large cash prizes. Get your tickets now at EmpireStateTix.com, in person at the Adirondack Bank Center box office, or over the phone by calling 315-790-9070. It's the Utica Stampede and Rodeo, presented by Don's Ford Clinton Tractor, and best enjoyed with Coors Banquet, the official beer of the rodeo.
Make a difference in your community with the Boilermaker Volunteer Program. Join them in the heart of the action on July 13th. The volunteer portal is now open at boilermaker.com/volunteer. Brought to you by the Fountainhead Group. They have various needs and leadership opportunities available. Sign up today, be part of something amazing, and help make the Boilermaker unforgettable. Lace up your passion for Utica and volunteer at boilermaker.com now.
Keeler in the Morning invites you to connect with us through telephonic communication at 315-736-0186. Or use the Call Us button on the WIBX 950 app. For additional contact methodologies, please refer to WIBX950.com.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
In studio right now, 8:15, is the one and only Mr. Steve Marin. Steve is... You're never going to retire, but you're in retirement. Is that...
Kind of.
Kind of. But you're still involved, and you're nice and tight on that, Mike, if you could, because these are extremely...
Very sensitive.
Well, I...
Kind of like you.
I'm very sensitive. I almost feel like these mics are not sensitive enough to pick you up from anywhere. But you're involved with the Capitol Arts Complex, the Rome Capitol Theater, and which is really knocking it out of the park with some of these shows that are coming in.
We have our biggest show, Summer Stage. We're doing Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. Originally, it aired on NBC in 1957 with Julie Andrews as a TV special in place of the Ed Sullivan Show. And then Rodgers and Hammerstein turned it into a Broadway musical a few years later. But it will be live on stage, 7:30 each night. Ticket prices are the highest are $25. They go on down to like $13. So, no excuses.
Yeah.
It's just great entertainment. One of the great all-time shows that these guys ever wrote. So we're looking forward to having a lot of you folks come over and see it.
What a great! I mean, just adding the marquee just caps that whole facility off. Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's just almost unimaginable. In 1985, they took the marquee down, and rather than store it somewhere, they threw it away.
Yeah.
So we had to recreate the whole thing.
And it recreated basically what it was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Art Pierce, our executive director, had so many really good pictures and schematics of everything that we had. We were able to replicate everything in that theater.
Yeah. Okay, so tickets are available, and of course it starts tonight.
Right.
RomeCapital.com for details. Remember, as Rick always would say, it's capital with an O.
That's correct.
Not an A. And let's talk about Rick Lewis. The passing of Rick was shocking for everybody.
Yes.
And an enormous loss for Rome Capital.
Yeah, I first came across Rick when I was at WTR. He was my promotions manager, and honestly, I didn't get him. It took me 6 months to figure out that this guy was actually a genius.
Yeah.
He was just unbelievable, and we became really, really close friends. He did a lot of work with me over the years, and nobody was as creative, I think. Anybody that I've ever personally known was that creative, but it's just a tremendous loss. He was a very private man. None of us knew that he was as sick as he was. And he came to work and died the next day. I mean, it's just sad.
Yeah, we had spoken just a few days before that, and which, based on that conversation, I feel like he knew what was going to. But at the same time, he was still making plans for like the following week and the following month. So very, very sad. A major loss for you guys, but for really the community, because he did so many big things in the community.
Well, not a lot of people know this, but he was the guy behind all of the advertising for the Turning Stone for over 25 years.
Yeah. You would hear his voice at the Turning Stone for years. Yep. Definitely Rick Lewis, an enormous loss. So he would be here today promoting this if he were still with us.
But you got me.
But we got you, and he's smiling down, smiling on this, I believe. Okay, for tickets, go to RomeCapital.com, or you can call 315-337-6277, and the show runs tonight through Saturday night.
And it is assigned seating, so you don't just go sit anywhere. You can pick wherever you'd like to sit.
Beautiful. All right, Steve Marin,
thanks for having me on, Bill.
Thank you. I appreciate it greatly. Quick break, and we'll come right back here. It's a whole bunch to get to before I get out. John Decker coming up also, Chief White House Correspondent with Gray TV. And we'll speak with John in just a few minutes at WIBX.
Hey there, it's summer and the energy is on. One of my favorite quotes is energy is everything. Lisa here, and we're turning up the heat at Fit Body Boot Camp with our summer sizzle. Life gets crazy this time of year, but just 30 minutes of exercise can keep you fit, focused, and feeling fantastic. With 2 convenient locations in Whitesboro and Clinton, Fit Body Boot Camp's summer sizzle will help you feel confident and strong. Did I mention that we have air conditioning? We're not just a gym, we're a community that inspires fitness and changes lives. Ready to take that first step? Come join us and get fit for summer.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and service in Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit BMEcompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
Nurses at Oneida Health Hospital always advocate for our patients and work hard to provide the best care for them. Now we're fighting to make sure that hospital executives put patients over profits and properly staff their hospital. Nurses are demanding a fair contract to ensure that we can continue to provide the safe, quality patient care our community deserves. Learn more and take action at www.nisnot.org/Oneida. Paid for by the New York State Nurses Association.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name Clay as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM present live coverage of the Boilermaker Road Race this Sunday from 7 until 10 a.m.
Tune in live
on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Hey, the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills, where I was just yesterday and did, I keep bragging about this procedure that is done. It's a treatment, really, very much like going to a chiropractor, but much more involved. And it's about making sure everything is flowing through your body the way it's supposed to flow. It's like anything else. If your gas line in your vehicle is blocked, if the filter is dirty and it's not working right, your engine won't work right. Or maybe your engine won't be efficient. And the same thing happens with your body. And that's what this does from an osteopathic approach, with Dr. Shemolensky, Dr. Zielinski, and others, all under one roof at the Falcon Clinic. I swear by this procedure, and I do it every month at the Falcon Clinic. You do not need a referral. You can just call, and they're accepting new patients as we speak. Call 315-507-4751, the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills.
Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Beth Irons is our guest host here this morning. The official coffee of the program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford, where the coffee is brewed and delicious every single morning. Speedy drive-through, Seattle's best. And right now, pistachio is hot. Check out their pistachio lattes and muffins and iced coffee. And the newly introduced 32-ounce Double X iced coffee, because you can't get enough. It's Daylight Donuts in the village of New Hartford. All right, Beth, I'm going to let you handle the introductions here.
No pressure.
No pressure whatsoever. Beth Irons, take it away.
Well, you know, one of the most loaded questions I ever asked, excuse me, when Oneida County Public Market became part of Cooperative Extension in 2019, was what exactly do you guys do here at Cooperative Extension? And 6.5 years later, I'm still answering that question, and the answer changes. And I asked Natika if she wanted to come in today because she is deeply immersed in part of the agricultural community that people, I guarantee you, 90% of the time don't even think about.
Yeah.
But if you're running a farm, you're running a business. Granted, there's a very public side of what you do. You plow fields, you plant fields, you raise animals, you raise chickens or goats or cows. But behind all of that is the business of running a farm.
Right.
And that's anywhere from how do you file your taxes to how do I understand a new policy that just came out to there's just so many layers to this. And I thought this would be a good opportunity for Natika to introduce herself. She's one of the newer faces at Cooperative Extension. And to explain what she does and why it's important.
Natika, good morning. And so you are, if you can lift that up just a little bit, make sure it's like
you got to be really close to the mic.
Literally within
like kissable distance.
Correct. Yeah. Quarter of an inch. You don't want to get too close. Okay. So I would assume that, so if you're a new farmer, you want to start a farm.
Yeah.
By the way, that's something that we didn't even think people would be doing, but it kind of became trendy, and all of a sudden you have young people, other people who've not maybe been working in a business world, and all of a sudden they want to change into an agricultural business world. We're seeing all sorts of new people coming in, but now with the Chobani announcement, your job becomes really, really important.
My job became really interesting really fast.
Yeah, very, very quickly. So explain that basically what it is that you do.
Yeah, so not everyone goes into farming thinking I'm going to be a business mogul. I'm going to be like king of the industry. A lot of people go into farming because they truly love farming and they love what they do and they love to work with the soil and create things for people. And we see a lot of farmers create some wonderful things for our local community. We are very lucky to live in Oneida County and have a market like Oneida County Public Market that just shows us such amazing farmers. But unfortunately for them, unfortunately for me, one of the big parts of being a farmer is also being a business.
Yeah.
And that includes things like record keeping and making sure your production's in order, making sure your finances are in order, doing those taxes at the end of the year that everyone loves, making sure that with all policies coming out, coming back in, the USDA, being able to work with them and being like, okay, what does my milk check look like?
Right.
Okay, with Chobani coming in, what could it look like if I sold milk to them? How would I best do it? What's the best technology I can use moving forward to make this streamlined for everybody?
Yeah. We're looking at, with Chobani, really ramping up. And I hate to say, but over the last 50 years, farming has been ramping down. But we've seen this novice resurgence where people are becoming, having small farms, to now this where we're going to need to, we're in the process right now of ramping up production, milk production.
Opportunity is abundant right now.
Yeah.
There's been a decrease in dairy counties, not only all over the county, but all over the country. And I think our county is very excited to have this opportunity where there are more opportunities for dairy farms in Oneida County.
Yeah. And I think I said this in the very beginning. If you are a farmer and you want to expand because of this opportunity, your trip to the bank is going to be easier now.
Much.
Because they know there's a market.
The opportunity.
And the opportunity is there. So what do you suggest people, if you have a smaller farm or a medium-sized farm and you want to ramp up production, how do you, what things should you do to be able to dot the I's and cross the T's?
Well, I hate to say it, but it's the old saying, you can't manage what you don't measure. Mm-hmm. Being able to have efficient, accurate, and easily accessible records, it's one of the best ways to grow bigger is to know where you are and know where you want to be.
Yeah.
Having those records to be able to set those goals. And from there, being able to look at your market. Are you doing wholesale? Are we doing direct marketing? Are we going to the county market? Or are we working with the upstate downstate program to ship stuff down to New York City? Knowing where your goals, where you want to be, is half the battle of growing.
So there were two legislators, New York City legislators, in the assembly, I believe, that were proposing to limit even further the amount of milk that could be processed and the size of a dairy farm in upstate New York. There's I believe it's a climate issue, but I don't think that passed. And
I was just going to say, I don't think that passed.
For us to be able to do what we need to do, do you have any knowledge on any of this stuff?
I don't have a ton of knowledge on that. I don't think it passed, but
I don't think it passed either.
It's one of those games where if you're good at being big, you're good at being big, and if you want to start, you better start small.
Yeah.
Well, and like what she referred to, a lot of it is, and she deals with this, like she said, she talks to new farmers. You got to know the basics. I mean, a few years back, I offered a course called Recipe to Market, where it was actually a small producer. Somebody made something in their kitchen, and everybody said, wow, you really should sell this. And going through the steps, and it was 6 weeks of, okay, if this is what you want to do, these are the steps you got to go through.
Yeah.
And it's not the same as like just doubling the recipe. I'm like, if you want to go into production and you want to take your chocolate chip cookie, and instead of making 3 dozen, you want to take 3,000 dozen because they're going on the back of a truck to a grocery store in Buffalo. It's a whole different ballgame.
Quality, consistency all
of
of
product,
those things.
cost of production. You got to know what you need to sell your final product for to cover your expenses to produce that product and make enough of a profit for you to be able to live on. So there's a lot of little nuanced things and little just basic business things behind it that Natika will help you. If she can't help you solve the problem, she knows the person to point you to help you do that.
I've seen it even with, along with going to maybe the Falcon Clinic and the other things that I do for back pain, I also think it's very important to go and get a massage. Our massage therapist also has a salsa business, and it's an amazing salsa, and she's producing it. And Davey.
He seems in depth over there.
Davey, can you get this for me? The where was I? Oh, salsa. Sauce. You have a lot, especially in Utica, a lot of different companies that do restaurants. They jar their own sauces. Is that a part of the cooperative extension? Because I know there are services out there in Morrisville and different places where they assist them. Do you assist in that regard?
Well, we do in the respect that we will put them in touch with people. Like if you want to go into production, the first thing you got to do is get a scheduled process, which is basically your recipe converted to a phase where you can make it by the 40-gallon vat.
And have it taste the same.
And have it taste the same.
And
have
that's
a consistent
process. That takes a while.
And the only place in New York State to get a scheduled process where you're approved to go into production is the lab in Geneva with Cornell University, the Food Venture Lab.
Okay.
So we're, I guess, in that respect, we're kind of like a community connector. We don't do those things on site, but we can put you in touch with the people who do those things.
Because it's important because you can waste a lot of time going to the wrong places.
And I mean, come on, we're all consumers in this room. Like if you go try something new and you buy a jar of salsa and you're like, oh my God, this is great, and you go and you buy it again and it doesn't taste anything like the first jar you bought, that's a problem. You're not going to go out and buy it a third time.
Should always taste the same. Yeah. Yep. What else do you want people to know before we wrap it up?
I think one of the most important things to know when you're going into farming, I get so many calls that people call me up and they go, how do I register my farm? And one of the most beautiful parts about farming is that it's all so different. Farming encompasses so much. We can do so much with it. You can grow things. You can grow animals. You can this, that, and the other. And it might be a little confusing at first knowing where to go for what, but we're here to help you out.
All right. Do you have a farming background?
I grew up on a farm.
You grew up on it, and this is where you went on to what school?
I went on to Unity College to study environmental science.
And ended up on the business side.
I spent a year in Alaska working with food systems and how to best market your foods up in Alaska in the middle of nowhere.
Wow.
And then I came back home.
So if you can do it up there, you should be able to do it here.
Yeah.
I imagine.
A little easier.
All right, good stuff. Nikita, we appreciate your time this morning. Thanks.
Thank you for having me.
Cornell Cooperative Extension, a great source.
Yes, endless source of information.
And check him out. Quick break, and I got a whole bunch more to squeeze in here, including Sound of Music coming. John Decker, Gray TV. He is the chief White House correspondent. We'll do that coming up in a second, along with news at WIBX.
Here's the latest from the WIBX newsroom. I'm Doug Callan. A Plattsburgh man who exchanged child pornography with an 82-year-old Rome man was sentenced to 6 years in federal prison on Tuesday, according to prosecutors. According to the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of New York, 65-year-old Richard Hockersmith was sentenced for conspiring to receive and distribute child pornography and for possessing child porn. The Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers Wanted Person of the Week is up on our website at WIBX950.com. Police in Oneida are looking for 54-year-old John C. Degosky, who they say is wanted on grand larceny charges and for writing nearly $10,000 in bad checks. A photo and full story is on our website. The New Hartford Police Department responded to the former St. Luke's Hospital on Champlain Ave Wednesday, right around 12 noon, following a 911 report of a man with a gun. Multiple police officers responded. They located the suspect near the rehabilitation unit on the campus. However, no weapon was found in his possession. The investigation is ongoing. People with any information can contact New Hartford Police or offer a tip through Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. This year's Boilermaker Road Race is expected to have a flyover. The event will take place, weather permitting, with the U.S. Air Force scheduled to perform the flyover at the post-race party. According to organizers, the 134th Fighter Squadron, known as the Green Mountain Boys from the Vermont Air National Guard, is scheduled to fly 2 F-35 Lightning II and 1 FA-18 aircraft over the Boilermaker Road Race at approximately 10:01:30 a.m. Senator Joe Griffith's office played a key role in securing the military flyover of the fighter jets. That's the latest. I'm Doug Callan for WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Rain chances with us here today. We should dry out by Friday, but a chance of showers and thunderstorms over the weekend. Could see a passing shower this morning. Better chance of a couple of showers, thunderstorms this afternoon. 85. A threat for showers early tonight. 65. Could dip into the upper 50s in the North Country. Good look at Friday. Sunshine. 87. Chance of showers and thunder showers over the weekend. I'm meteorologist Ray Stejek at the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
72 with partly cloudy skies and plenty of sunshine here to start off Thursday here at WIBX. Coming up, I want to talk about this big show that's hitting here as well. Another one that includes Sound of Music. We'll get to it coming up at WIBX.
Don't miss Clinton Tractor Spring Sales Event. We're giving you the best deals of the season on all of our inventory. Thousands of used and new equipment in stock, all in one location. Get 0% financing on new Ferris commercial mowers, Massey Ferguson, and New Holland equipment. And trailers and used equipment as low as 5.49%. Restrictions apply. We're giving you the best deals of the season. It's Clinton Tractor Spring Sales Event.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
ClintonTractor.net.
All right, Tim, time for the Father's Day quiz. Are you ready?
Yes, Bill Keeler, I'm ready.
All right, name 3 things you can do for your family on Father's Day. Ready, go.
Wear the ugly tie to dinner.
Wrong.
Tell them I love the zebra striped boxers.
Wrong. Last chance. Here we go.
Actually, listen to my doctor and get tested for cancer so that I can be around next year.
That's the answer we're looking for. Plan to be here for Father's Day next year. Real men get tested for cancer.
Crime continues to go up. Violence is happening in your neighborhood, which means you need something on you at all times. Byrna wants you to conceal everywhere you go. That's why they made the new compact launcher, touted as the world's smallest, less lethal pistol launcher. The same size as a smartphone, but with the firepower you need to stop an attacker in their tracks, without dealing with the mental and financial repercussions of using a firearm. Equipped with tear gas and kinetic ammunition designed to incapacitate an attacker for up to 40 minutes, the compact launcher is perfect for women who want protection but don't want to carry a firearm. And if you're traveling this summer, Byrna is legal in all 50 states. Byrna requires no background checks and can be shipped directly to your door. And Byrna is trusted by hundreds of police departments and government agencies worldwide. There's nothing more American than Byrna. They're manufactured right here in the USA. And from July 1st through July 7th, they're doing 10% off site-wide for the American people at Byrna.com. That's BYRNA.com.
Hello, everyone in Central New York. This is Dave Letterman, your old TV pal. Remember me? I'm supposed to say something witty and funny here about Bill Keeler, but I've got nothing. Ever see a picture of this guy? That's a joke in itself. Anyhow, here's Keeler on WIBX.
Hey, if you're looking for things to do, you can check out the Herkimer County website, which is herkimercountyny.gov/events. It is everything that is happening in Herkimer County. Explore the Herkimer Diamond Mine, savor the taste of Herkimer cheese, or take a boat tour along the historic Erie Canal. It is happening in Herkimer County. You can also suggest items, events that are coming up that you know about. Maybe you're sponsoring or holding yourself. You can submit them right there at the website, and they'll be promoted as well. herkimercountyny.gov/events. It's happening in Herkimer County, where history, commerce, and beauty collide. So they say, which it does. It really does. All right, in studio right now is Jill Christine, who's with The Sound of Music, which is coming. And good morning. I believe I have you on that mic right there, nice and tight. Good morning.
Good morning.
So tell us about, for those that this is a live musical presentation. So explain that and how it might be a little bit different than what they have seen.
Sure. So for The Sound of Music, usually most audiences are most familiar with the film adaptation. But with the Broadway musical, there are going to be additional songs, more in-depth with certain characters that maybe the film wasn't able to fully immerse in their stories and the relationships they have to other characters in the show. And then some songs are in different places where they were first intended to be by Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Yeah.
So this is a show that audiences may be familiar with the movie. They're going to come and want to sing along, but then I think they're going to sit forward on the edge of their seats a little bit more, thinking, I didn't realize that song was in that place. I didn't realize this character had this position. What's going to happen next?
So you've been a part of the production. Talk about the role you played.
Sure. So the Jack O'Brien production is coming back, which is super exciting. Previously, I played the role of Maria for 2 years on the national tour here in the U.S. and throughout Canada as well. And then in 2023, they launched a global international production of the same show with the same creative team. And we took the show all throughout Southeast Asia.
Wow.
And I spent the better part of that year touring as Maria. And we had both local children to those countries that we were touring through, and then we also welcomed some children from the U.S. and their families to join us for a certain leg of that tour, too. So it's been a long and wonderful journey, and I'm happy to be here to promote the show for its next year ahead and so forth.
Talk about the role of Maria.
What can we, how much time do we have?
Yeah,
I think Maria is so beautifully human, right? I think every audience member, whether they're young at heart or the youngsters in the audience, can relate to her in one way or another. At times, she is a bit of a goofball. She's trying to find her place in this world. And from time to time, she might slip up or make a mistake or two, but I think she always leads with the best of intentions from the heart and truly believes in the love of music and just finding her way. It's a really beautiful coming-of-age story.
Do you have a favorite scene?
So many. I think one of my most favorite scenes is actually early on in the show with the Mother Abbess. And we were speaking earlier about the lineup of the show and what might be a little bit different from the film. In the musical, Maria and the Mother Abbess actually sing My Favorite Things together. So it's a bonding moment between these two women, how they are like-minded, how they support one another, why Maria admires her. And there's beautiful harmony. It makes your heart kind of soar, and you just ease into the show knowing that you're in for some true talent and a wonderful evening of storytelling.
Yeah. I would assume if many people are familiar with the film.
Yes.
What can they expect that might be different, that might be similar from the film to the Broadway musical?
There is nothing like live theater.
Yeah.
Things can happen. There will be 7 Von Trapp children living, breathing, smiling, giggling, living their true emotions on stage as these characters. And having worked with children and many children in this particular production throughout the years, things do happen.
Yeah,
I think that Gretel steals hearts of the audience, and I think the magic of theater, it's a different show every night with different audience reactions. And not only is this, a story, but it is a true story, and we are telling a part of history. So just living in that moment and really bringing it to life and breathing new life into it night after night.
Yeah.
It's a really wonderful, remarkable opportunity.
And it's a great. We're seeing a lot of shows today that are taken from Broadway and then brought to television or to theater. This is in reverse. It's kind of neat, which is certainly not the first time, but this is a legendary film that is now you're going to be able to experience it differently. Very much kind of like when you read a book versus watching a movie, right?
We love it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with you completely. Yep.
Okay, it is Friday, September 5th at 7:30 at the beautiful Stanley Theater. And anything else you want people to know?
I think there's 2 shows.
2 shows.
Also,
yes.
we have Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday,
So
sorry.
if you can't come Friday,
On
we
this
hope to
one,
see you Saturday.
it's only showing me the 5th. So it's 5th and 6th.
I believe so.
And it is. It is.
Perfect.
At the Stanley Theater. Anything else you want people to know?
If you think you know the sound of music, then buy your tickets because you won't want to miss this production.
Okay. All right.
And you can visit BroadwayUtica.org or Ticketmaster.com for your tickets.
Okay, very good.
See you
All right.
soon.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it, Jill Christine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Quick break, and we'll come right back and wrap it up. I know Beth has some stuff that she wants to squeeze in here. It's a 8:45 at WIBX.
I went in for a regular prostate screening, and my lab results showed my PSA level were elevated.
We repeated the lab test, and the second test came back elevated too. We did a biopsy, and the biopsy showed cancer in certain areas of Philip's prostate.
Dr. Ba performed a prostatectomy at Wayne Hospital using robotic surgery to remove the cancer.
We were able to cure him with smaller incisions, and he had a quick recovery.
Since the surgery, all my PSA level has been normal. I am proof that early detection can prevent something far worse.
I had been lifting something heavy, felt a tinge in my back. I also had some shortness of breath, but thought it was due to what I figured was some kind of muscle pull. I was wrong.
The episodes of pain that Ray was experiencing were actually small heart attacks. The Wynn Emergency Department was able to provide immediate life-saving care to Ray's heart.
If it wasn't for the amazing team at Wynn, I might not be here at all. I feel indebted to everyone who helped make Wynn Hospital a reality so I can get the immediate care I needed right when I needed it.
Thank you for giving my daddy back home.
Clearing out your home or commercial building, John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation will handle it for you. We handle residential or any size commercial property, before and after estate sale cleanouts or any junk removal service. John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation is a 5-star rated and background checked business, providing service you can count on, and we're fully insured in the industry. Call John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation today and take the stress out of your mess.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name Clay as the promo code at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
This is Keeler in the Morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
So Beth Irons has been our guest host here this morning and always comes loaded with stuff. What do you have there now? You've been doing a little work on the side.
I've been doing some shuffling, some paper shuffling
Yeah.
this morning. I am spending some time at one of my favorite local places that I want everybody bring to everybody's attention. Spring Farm Cares. They have a nature sanctuary out there, which is wonderful. And they just came out with some advertising for some August and September classes that they're going to be holding that I wanted to mention. In August, they're having the native plants for the home landscape. So if you want to support the local environment and you don't have a lot of money or a lot of time to do something in a big way, you can do it in a small way and still be really impactful.
All right.
Supporting our local pollinators and birds and such. They also have an Identifying and Understanding Birds with Matt Perry, who has been a friend of mine for many years with the Utica Marsh Council, helping you identify the sounds and the sights that you see right outside your own front window. And in September, they're offering mushroom identification and field foraging with Nat Levin, also right there at Spring Farm. If you want to register for any of these, you can go right to their website, Spring Farm Cares. And there will be posters and flyers around the community with a QR code on that you can just click on and sign up. But wonderful, wonderful green space that's been around for a while that we need to make sure stays around for quite a bit longer. So go on out and just enjoy it.
You know what I find when it comes to mushroom identification, it's kind of not like riding a bike. And here's why. Because you ride a bike, you learn how to ride a bike. You fall, you get back up.
Yep.
You fall again, you get back up. And then all of a sudden, you're a whiz at
you
riding a bike.
You can't make mistakes foraging.
With mushrooms in the
know
wild,
what you're doing.
If you don't know what you're doing, you fall, you don't get back up.
You don't get back up.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is you got to really know what you're
go to Spring
doing.
Farm Cares, their website.
Okay.
They have a wonderful website. You can help support the animals that they adopt to give a nice rest of their life to, and learn some things about your own property.
Love it. Tim Reed is with us. This is, of course, Boilermaker Week. And I thought maybe just a little reminder of the history of the Boilermaker. Tim, good morning. Good morning.
What? Good morning, Bill. How are you?
Well, we're making our way through another Boilermaker Week. Can you believe it?
Well, this is a happy week for me because I'm not the president of the Boilermaker Road Race.
And you don't have to worry about how we're going to handle this heat. How are we going to? Because it's going to be hot.
It will be hot.
Yeah.
Well, in thinking about the history, the first year of the Boilermaker, which, by the way, started at 11 o'clock in the morning with 776 souls out on the course with two water stations. So things are certainly a lot different, but it's a great race, and it's a great race, quite frankly, because of my brother.
Yeah. Talk about Earl. And I got to tell you, my involvement back when it was a gamble, Tim, including me, in anything like this, it was your brother, Earl, that actually brought me in. It was like, hey, don't make me regret this.
It's on you.
He did. No, he did.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. But it was pretty odd because it's really then when the Boilermaker had really become something of that was small, turned into such an enormous community event.
Well, it was actually sponsored by ESPN for a year or two, wasn't it?
There was a lot of coverage over the years.
Yeah, GM was big with it too.
Yeah.
This really was to celebrate the 50th anniversary of what was then Utica Radiator, and my brother talked my dad into a $750 check, which you're selling heater products in the middle of the summer.
Yeah,
money's a little tight. But my dad said yes, and kind of the rest literally is history. But Earl had always had the vision that this was going to be more than just an everyday race. Although racing wasn't really big back then in '78 as much as it is today, and it bloomed from there. And there were so many people that were involved with the race that unfortunately are no longer with us. But we were fortunate to have Donna Donovan with what was then the Utica Daily Press and the Observer Dispatch. You get the newspaper behind you.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Guys like John Paderesi and whatever, all those guys that kind of did the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
And 15K was kind of a strange distance usually. But we had to figure out a way to be able to go from our facility to end up at the brewery, and hence 9.3 miles.
Yeah. Really quite amazing. And so I was going to ask that question about Earl and what, did he ever think that it was going to turn out to be as enormous and such a pinnacle event for this entire community and region? I'm imagining, like you had said, that he wanted that, but this has got to have surpassed his wildest expectations.
He always had a vision that this thing was going to be, so many races sometimes, you would have thought to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the company, it would be kind of a one and done.
Right.
But he had always had the vision in regards to this was going to continue, and it was only going it was only going to get bigger. So I mean, that really is kind of where we are today. So if somebody sees Earl walking around or whatever it is, and they've run this race, say thank you, because quite frankly, if you ever tried to pull off something like this, what was done in 1978, it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's just his vision, and we had some tough years in Utica. The Boilermaker was the one thing that kind of made us proud to be in this community.
It really, really is. So, all right. Well, if Earl's out there right now, we want to thank him from all of us, and certainly an incredible event what this has become. And I also appreciate Earl for at least gambling, bring me to be involved in the race. I love doing what I'm doing for the Boilermaker. Pretty awesome.
He's the patron saint of lost souls.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And so are you. Let me just tell you. All right, Tim. Thank you.
All right, man. I'll see you on Sunday.
All right.
Have a ball, man.
All right. Thanks so much. Tim
Bye-bye.
Reed and Earl Reed, and of course, remember Tim was running the race, and his brother had stepped down, so he was trying to fill some pretty big shoes. All right, let's go to John Decker. John is the chief White House correspondent for Gray TV, and the latest in Washington and around the world. You're all over the place, John.
Well, I think the last time we spoke, I was in the Netherlands for the NATO summit.
And you get a front row seat to all of this. What's on your agenda for today?
Well, as things stand today, we are not expected to see or hear from the president today. Tomorrow's a big day for the president. That's when he's making that trip down to Central Texas, which has been it's so sad what has happened there with flooding and the scores of fatalities there. So the president will visit Texas tomorrow. I will not be on that trip. But watching it just like everybody else from afar. And, I think it's a community that very much wants to be comforted. And, presidential visits often do that when you're talking about the aftermath of natural disasters.
Yeah, really, really, the numbers are just mind-blowing. And how quickly this happened, right?
Well, yeah, that's right. The numbers are mind-blowing, how quickly it happened. And, I think that there's still some unanswered questions as it relates to whether or not, authorities did their best in terms of warning people about what was coming. And I think those questions, hopefully, we'll get some answers in the near future.
Quickly, I would ask you, Dr. Kevin O'Connor is appearing before the White House, pleading the Fifth. And then the Epstein list. Two very interesting stories that we're following right now.
Well, they are interesting. You're talking about the person who was the personal physician to President Joe Biden. Even before he became president, I think he served as his personal physician for something like 15 years, brought before a congressional committee and refusing to answer any questions, citing, among other things, patient-doctor confidentiality. So there's that, raising lots of questions. And then what was the other thing that you mentioned?
The Epstein, the Epstein.
Yeah, well, there's that. That's because the Attorney General of the United States had promised to release what she called a truckload of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein. That hasn't happened. That doesn't appear to be happening. I don't think it will happen. And that's the reason why you have people that describe themselves as MAGA Republicans, MAGA influencers. They're calling for her. They're calling for her to resign or the president to fire her. I don't think that's happening. I think it's strong confidence in the Attorney General.
All right. There's never certainly never
a dull moment.
No. All right. Safe travels as you do so, John. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bill.
All right. John Decker with Gray TV. Again, thank you to Beth Irons this morning. I want to tell you a couple of quickies before we come into tomorrow, which is the Boilermaker kickoff. Program will be here tomorrow morning. Think about the Good Feet store. If you're having pain in your back or shoulders or neck, Your legs, very well, knees could be coming from the way you're walking. And there enters the Good Feet store. Premier arch support specialist. You have a free, no obligation, personalized fitting just by going. Free fitting and test walk. No appointment is needed. And everything is made in the USA. If you end up moving forward with the plan, it's a 3-step system. Strengtheners, maintainers, and relaxers. And you can walk right in. The Good Feet store, 4630 Commercial Drive in New Hartford. Call 315-999-3910 is the phone number. Gotta go. Kilmeade is next.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. W295EI. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, celebrating 100 years.
Losing patience with Putin. I'm Chris Foster. Fox News. As President Trump expresses frustration with Russia's President Putin for continued attacks on Ukraine, and there have been more today. Secretary of State Marco Rubio meets with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov for what he calls a frank and important conversation.
The president's been pretty clear. He's disappointed and frustrated that there's not been more flexibility on the Russian side to bring about an end to this conflict. We hope that can change.
Rubio and Lavrov met in person for about 50 minutes on the sidelines of an Asia summit in Malaysia. Brazil's President Lula calls an emergency cabinet meeting to discuss a possible response to President Trump announcing 50% tariffs on Brazilian imports. It's a hot, humid, but not rainy day for crews in central Texas searching flood debris for a 7th day. At least 120 people are dead, more than 170 reported missing.
Kerr County doesn't have warning signs after years of trying and failing to install them because of funding issues. They do have Code Red. It's a system that sends emergency alerts to phones, but residents have to sign up for it. A firefighter called dispatch asking for a red alert, but it took nearly 6 hours for the county to actually send it. By then, the Guadalupe River had already risen 26 feet in just 45 minutes.
Fox's Brooke Taylor. 27 trapped construction workers and 4 others who rushed in to help them are safe in Los Angeles.
The workers were trapped after a tunnel in a large industrial complex collapsed. According to preliminary reports, the workers were rescued after having to climb over a large pile of dirt. They were then shuttled by a tunnel vehicle to an access point more than 5 miles away. 8 workers at a time were hoisted to safety in a cage. The LA Fire Department says the workers were evaluated by paramedics at the scene, but appeared to have no visible injuries.
Fox's Chanley Painter. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customers